Marvel Comics is shifting gears away from the plan that its architect, Jonathan Hickman, established for the cosmic space of Marvel with Imperial. Imperial, by all accounts, apparently hasn't sold well enough to keep the line going, the promised line that featured at least 5 titles that we were to expect appears to be over. We're going to talk a lot about that this week and what the hell is going on behind the scenes at Marvel. To have the conversation, of course, we've got Marco.
Celsius!
Tyler.
Hi.
And, it's still February. So
Jesus Christ.
we had to bring on, for the only time we've had him this year, of Comics Are Dope fame, we've got BJ Kicks with us. What's up, brother?
Gang, glizzies. First of all, I was here.
Hold on.
What? No?
I kind of liked it. No, I kind of liked it, actually.
I had to pay homage.
I was kind of...
Okay.
all right.
Nice, yeah.
Honoring the only white guy we had on the show on this month. Cool.
In Black History. Listen, originally Black History Month was Negro History Week, started by Carter G. Woodson, and it was the week of February 12th, Abraham Lincoln's birthday. So paying homage to white guys on Black History Month is not a new thing at all.
All right.
But first of all, Sean, I couldn't tell. Were you stretching, or did you say the plans that Jonathan Hickman had?
No, I believe he had plans.
Okay, I thought you would put plans in quotes, and I was like, that's crazy.
No, I think he is the architect, and Marvel said, you know what, we're going to take a sledgehammer to those plans that you worked diligently on, because reasons, which we will get into here shortly. Thank you guys for being here with us, whether you are live or in the future. Make sure you smash that like button. Really happy to have BJ with us. We're going to have a great show, as we always do. Super chats are open. The goal for us to play the GOAT game is, as always, 10 $5 or better super chats. $10 or more will trigger us to spin the wheel, which you guys love. Neon Knight kicking us off with the super chats this morning says, good morning. Let's get this started. Hit that like. I love the message, brother. Thank you. Absolutely.
I should start my videos like, hey, give me $50 and I'll make a video.
You should.
You should. It works.
Yeah.
We got sponsored book clubs for half the year.
That's crazy.
And that was only in January.
Yeah.
We're doing static, actually, BJ.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I might show up then. I might have to. By the way, correction, Sean, this is not the only time you've had me on the show this year. I was just here like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but it's still February, dude. It's like you only appear. It's like you're the Black Ghost. Like you only pop up in February.
That is crazy. That is insane. I'll find a way to pop up. I'll pop up in April, most likely.
You gotta.
What's happening in April? What week is it that we have in April, BJ? And by we, I mean Black people.
Listen, bro. First of all, the way you tried to erase Black History Month and call this Alan Moore Month, I don't even understand why you're trying. What are you advocating for anyway? I feel like you gave up that seat, but there will be plenty of reasons for me to be Black in April and May. June is Juneteenth.
That's true.
July is when we protest Independence Day because we weren't quite independent in 1776, right? August, there's a festival or it's known as Black August, right? September, what happened in September? Labor Day, Black people definitely provided labor. October is when we recognize indigenous peoples. Black people were indigenous to several parts of, North America.
World. Oh, okay.
And the world, yes. What else is there? November, Thanksgiving. Black people like to eat.
Okay.
And December is Christmas. Black people still like to eat and give gifts. So there's always reason to celebrate. 365 Black over here.
All right. Well, some of that was a stretch, but I take your meaning.
Like
Some weird contention here.
And shout out to Cutie Cube. Welcome to the Comics Pal Sidekick tier.
Thank you. Thank you. Super Job says you haven't read Alan Moore's Black History. That was his best ABC title. Yeah, come on. You're trying to act like there's not a good reason to celebrate Alan Moore in February. It's a perfect month to celebrate Alan Moore.
Did Alan Moore really make a book called Black History?
I don't know.
I
It'd
hope not.
probably be really good though.
I'm trying to think of a prominent Black character Alan Moore's written.
Look, times were different.
I gotta like roll the bones or
They had
send
Black
out a
people
spell
in
and
those
talk to him.
times, Sean.
No, they didn't. Samuel Summers with a 10 spot. Hey, BJ, I'm covertly trying to make them do a Milestone Media deep dive. Hopefully, I pull it off.
You should do it. You know, it'll take Sean a little while to get through all those books. You could probably plan for it in 2028, which will be Milestone's 35th anniversary in February. So,
Oh, look at that.
Why would you suggest, BJ, that we wait that long to celebrate Black comic books? What's going on with you, bro?
He's
are
trying to
Milestones
outwoke
the
each
only
other.
Black comic books?
I don't know. I'm just going off what you said, man. That was crazy.
Anyway, I was trying to give you some grace, knowing that you haven't read most of this stuff.
That's
and the
true.
fact that there's like over 300 issues of OG Milestone.
Really?
Plus, you got 2 reboots to consider at this point. And then, you know, a reason for everybody to show up to the party. Anniversaries are always good. Next year's 34th anniversary, but I feel like it doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it doesn't. No.
Oh, nobody cares about that.
Yeah, it's my 34th
remember
birthday
when I
coming up. And I'm just like, yeah.
34. Yeah, no one
I turned
cares.
35 this year, and it did feel a little bit more special.
All right. Let's get into the proceedings. All right. So Marvel Comics has, well, they promised. They promised. It came from the horse's mouth. It came from the highest of highs. That there would be at least 10 issue runs at Marvel. That was the guarantee. That's what Marvel's president told us. We heard these words. Now, how does that line up with Imperial? Imperial was Jonathan Hickman's big idea that was going to revitalize Marvel's cosmic space. We're going to do it with She-Hulk, with Nova, Black Panther. You know, of course, you had the Skrulls and the Kree were in the mix, and bringing back into prominence the Inhumans. Imperial was a bit of a mixed bag. I think from a quality standpoint, there were highs, there were lows. But the promise of a revitalized cosmic space was pretty cool. You might remember that last week, your boys had Stephanie Phillips on the show. And Stephanie Phillips talked about the extreme pivot that the Imperial line was taking, and that it would be very obvious come She-Hulk issue 5 that something was changing drastically. Now, the internet picked this up. Your boys were fucking all over the place this week because people were transcribing, sharing clips of our conversation with Stephanie. It was a big deal.
Yeah, nobody said I was handsome, which is really fucking rude.
Can't win them all.
No.
Bleeding Cool, Rich Johnston of Bleeding Cool, picked up on this and used our conversation with Stephanie Phillips as a springboard to talk about the fact that he heard that Marvel has swiped away, dusted its cosmic plans because of low sales.
Interesting.
That shocked me. Quote, I understand from senior sources that sales were not what they were expected on Imperial titles, and so rather than launch new titles or see these through to at least their minimum planned endpoints, the decision was made to basically cut and run, even before Dan Abnett's Imperial Guardians was established.
I mean, remember when Black Panther Intergalactic came out? It was Pal's previews that week. And we were like, man, new Black Panther #1, and it is far down this list on League of Comic Geeks of who's pulling this book.
That's right.
Like much further down than I think any Black Panther book should be. And that kind of jumped out to me. I'm like, oh, all right, interesting. So that seems to be a good dipstick to what sales look like.
Look, Marvel told us, Dan Buckley himself said he was greenlighting series for 10 issues at a minimum. You guys remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
Does Imperial count? Like, I feel like we had the Imperial. It was just called Imperial, right?
Yeah.
The
Origins
event
of
itself.
Imperial.
Yeah.
We had the Black Panther, She-Hulk, and Nova tie-ins. Then we got Black Panther and the Galactic. So we've got 10 issues of this saga, right?
Come on.
Like,
Is that how he justifies it?
I know you didn't come on this program to talk that shit.
Do some math.
listen, I'm just saying, you got your 10 issues. And to be fair, Cosmic Marvel isn't my thing. It's quite the blind spot for me. I bought Imperial trying to like learn a little bit more, and I enjoyed the main event overall, but my sort of, layman's view of it was all this other stuff is tie-in and non-essential. I didn't quite get the communication that this was a line and the story was continuing for however long. So in my head, Imperial was over.
I mean, if that's what you, as a non-Marvel Cosmic fan, if that's the messaging you received, that's a failure on Marvel's end. I'm tapped in because this is like one of my favorite parts of Marvel. So I was hyper aware on this. Like I read all of the tie-ins. I was ready for Exiles to come out, which was probably going to be a Professor X book. So I was super excited for this stuff. So I was not the target audience for having to market a book towards it. I'm tapped in. I'm outside of everyone else when it comes to this stuff.
Even to that end, right? My understanding was that the X-Manhunt set up Xavier's portion of Imperial fairly well.
Yeah.
I wasn't tied into X-Manhunt either. That was kind of when I rage quit the X-Men line.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like Marvel's got a messaging issue, right? That's a part of it, a smaller part of it. But the other thing is, as Imperial's going on, we get this announcement that Armageddon's coming, and the rumor is that it's resetting everything. At the same time, we got the Ultimate Universe Endgame, and you got Miles crossing over in and out of that. And so it feels like as Hickman is building this cosmic thing, everything else is about to explode. And why would Cosmic not explode with it? Like maybe this should have come later.
I think they could have. They can stay concurrent. I think the problem was with Imperial in and of itself not being as strong an introduction for BJ and myself because we're not as tapped into that, and that storyline just wasn't as engaging. That there are moments of the chess bout, that kind of for me not necessarily went over my head, but just didn't land for me in any way that felt like it needed to take that momentum into the subsequent books. Nova, the only reason that I would have continued alongside Nova was because we had done a book club around
Ebony and Lanning's run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So like the familiarity, the fact that that character is returning was more a bit of nostalgia than it was based off the fact that Jonathan Hickman set up this version of Imperial to be interesting so that the subsequent stories can be fun and worth reading along.
Similarly, my tie to Imperial was Black Panther, but I'm not the biggest fan of spacefaring T'Challa. But I'm like, all right, well, if this is all we're getting of 616 T'Challa, I need to like tap in. But to your point, the other elements were not strong enough to make for me to be like, oh, who are all these other people? I like this, you know?
Did you keep up with Black Panther Intergalactic?
I read the first 2 issues, and
Okay,
it honestly was not my bag. Like this, T'Challa's on some weird world with a bunch of T'Challa clones and like hybrids of other characters, and
Otto Blacktavius.
You know, like just
that's the actual character's name. Hold on, let me.
That is his name.
Yeah,
but yeah, so it was just my feeling was like, bro, I tried.
Sure.
You know, I was gonna buy it anyway because it's Black Panther, and you know, that's just my thing. But yeah, it's not what I want for that character. And it just didn't. It felt aimless. You know, like for this to be, you know, T'Challa's 60th anniversary this year, for Priest to be doing The World to Come, and The World to Come is amazing.
Yeah.
And then we kind of got this kind of goofy story of like T'Challa in space. It's like, what are we doing here, man?
Whoa, he got a 60th anniversary issue last week. BJ, Marvel checked that off. We're good. Celebration done.
Sure. Let's talk about how his anniversary is not till July, but hey.
I think that there's no doubt in my mind that Imperial was a fail. No doubt in my mind. And like, forget this announcement or forget this speculation, forget what Stephanie Phillips said. Just look at it. It doesn't feel like the kind of thing that would hit hard. It just doesn't. Like, those issues of Imperial feel impenetrable. They don't feel welcoming. I don't understand how that was ground that they thought was going to be welcoming for people who aren't familiar with Marvel Cosmic. And if you are newer, if you started reading comics in the last decade, there hasn't been a ton of Marvel Cosmic for you to read. So that means that there hasn't been an on-ramp in a decade plus to Marvel Cosmic. And the first time at bat is Imperial, a book that feels like it had issues before it. It doesn't feel like the story started there. It feels like the story started years ago, and if you haven't been reading, too fucking bad. That's not okay.
And it kind of did start years ago. Like, there's so many seeds that were planted in like Al Ewing's runs on Guardians, Al Ewing's runs on X-Men Red, even the Empire stuff, which probably was a decade ago at this point, right?
If those were genuine seeds, that'd be one thing, but it's not like Marvel was planning this at that time.
No, that's Hickman going back and finding those seeds and kind of bringing them forward. Yeah. And that's why it worked for me, but I don't think anyone read Empire. You know what I mean? Like,
and Tyler, you were fairly tapped in. Did anything from Gods really like make its way into Imperial? Because that was the last book that was supposed to redefine, you know, both magic and cosmic for Marvel.
No, the Gods had like a one shot last year. What was that tie-in, Sean? Do you remember? Was it an Imperial tie-in?
It was One World Under Doom tie-in, not written by Hickman.
Yeah,
that's right. Oh my god, that's bad.
Gods went nowhere too.
Yeah.
Something about the way that Marvel is utilizing Hickman is no longer working. It just isn't. He's not the draw that he was, because he keeps doing projects that are overly expensive, overly ambitious, and don't feel grounded in anything that we can really chew on and connect to. What was the last Hickman project that really hit for people?
I mean, I liked Alien versus Avengers, but that's kind of its own separate thing. I think that was them using him well, actually.
That felt like a story he had and wanted to tell, you know, with like, oh, we have this new sort of crossover line. I mean, honestly, Krakoa is the last thing that I felt moved by, that felt cohesive, that felt like there was a momentous start, a continuation. You know, it sort of devolved into whatever it became, but that on ramp was, dude, there was like the boosters in Mario Kart. Like, I was getting flown into that universe.
Krakoa was the thing that got me into comics, and I remember being very excited. Like, okay, I love Krakoa. This must mean Jonathan Hickman is my favorite writer.
Mm.
And the next few at bats just did not hit for me. There was Gods and Ultimate Invasion, which both had the issue that like their number ones were like overly expensive. And then I bought them and I was just like,
Hickman tax. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, buying them anyway just didn't hit the same. Like, so I just kind of went through back issues, reading Fantastic Four and Avengers and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is Hickman. But I don't know what's going on with the current stuff.
Do you think we put too much pressure on Hickman, Sean, or crew? Like, he had his Avengers stuff was really good into Secret Wars. He really hit there. Subsequently, yes, Krakoa hit, Hawksbox hit, but it kind of stumbled once he decided to leave. And since then, he's kind of, I think, had things I find enjoyable, but nothing even sniffing the potential that Avengers was, or the beginnings of Krakoa. Do you think we put too much pressure on him to succeed?
Sounds fucked up, but I mean, it's his job. Like,
Yeah. What the fuck?
No, I mean, like to do like Hickman, like anytime he's on a new book, and also Marvel does the marketing around this, where it's like, hey, I have this whole new vision for this section of this universe that I'm going to rebuild. Maybe they should stop promoting shit like that for him. Why don't they just let him write a good book?
But that's who he is, right? That's how he has established himself, and now that's the job title he has earned. And so I don't know. I feel like, you know, you wrangle your team, you bring that together. Maybe there's something to be said about whether or not he's being set up for success, with or without, you know, a longer term on ramp, without being able to see things in the larger universe to then pay off in the things that he's trying to do. So I think he's trying to formulate worlds and storylines, like we've said, like things have sort of built up and bubbled up to that, versus just like, this is where it is now, this is the story I'm trying to tell, and it feels a little more confined.
It's not like Marvel has given Hickman something long form to do other than Ultimate Spider-Man. But to be fair, he might not want it. We really don't know what it is that Hickman wants to do anymore. He's very busy with 3 Worlds, 3 Moons. And if you listen to any creator at Marvel talk, when they talk about Hickman, they all say the same thing. Listen to Chip's interview with was it near Mint? It was one of the ones he did recently. He said
Harper,
that
I think.
Yeah. He said that Hickman is a genius, and that when Hickman is in the room, he's listening to everybody's ideas, and then he says something that brings it all together, and that makes it way better than what everybody else was trying to think. So that's the kind of guy he is. When you're that kind of guy, you don't get the grace of, oh, well, yeah, you know, hey, things happen, it didn't hit. Like, maybe it's not fair, I don't know, but it is what it is. Like, nobody was saying this when Wolverine Revenge was coming out and y'all didn't like it. Nobody was giving him grace, and I thought that shit was cool. But people didn't like it, and the conversation around Hickman was not good.
That was him. I forgot about that book.
About that too.
Yeah.
But he also has been open in interviews in saying that like Marvel pays him for big world changing stuff. Like, he's not here to just do an ongoing here and there that like some people like, some people don't. Like, he's here to be an architect. And if that's the case, make him the architect. And that, he doesn't necessarily have to draw everything, right? But like Scott Snyder, Joshua Williamson are clearly architects at DC right now. Their books aren't necessary. Well, Absolute Batman is absolutely hitting, and Superman is leading the line, leading the charge. But it's really about the whole of the line and everything. There's a lot of shining spots there. So is it that, you know, Hickman needs to plan better? Is it that Marvel needs to support the vision that he's put forth and just, you know, keep supporting the line? Or what? Or is it that like Hickman doesn't need to just be cosmic, Hickman needs to be like Marvel? I don't know. But
it seems like, it seems like they want him to be the architect. They just don't want to actually give things time to gel and to solidify.
Yeah, Marvel doesn't have the leeway or length of time to allow the full breadth of a story to hit.
Why not?
I mean, they're beholden to short-term sales. You know, like their goal is not to give the 10-issue minimum. Their goal is to make sure that the first thing that gets delivered is a new number one that hits gangbusters for them to decide this is something worth investing into versus building, I think, the credit and the faith with the reader of a new ongoing or a new event.
So, all right, let me ask you guys this then. What is Marvel in this situation supposed to do if they're looking at, we don't have sales numbers. If they're looking at sales data and they're going, okay, Imperial's not selling.
Yeah.
These spin-offs that we did, they're not hitting. What is Marvel's responsibility? Are they supposed to publish books that aren't selling because they want to make this work and just keep throwing good money after bad? Or do they cut their losses and do something else?
And this is the issue with comics too. There's always that 3-month gap between sales, like a FOC, and the actual publication of the book. So they have to really, they can only really go off buzz and speculation on how good the book is going to be. And I think it was probably once they probably got the first issue sales of everything, this is when they probably had to make the call.
Well, they also have the Imperial event and the miniseries to go off of.
The event, and then there was a couple one shots. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, because it's hard. Because like as a reader, I want to say like, hey, let things try to find their audience. You know, I think Nova Centurion is finding an audience, and I'm fucking bummed that it's not going to be able to continue. Like that's probably one of your favorite Jed McKay books that's come out recently, right, Sean?
Yeah.
And I think it's really good, and I think it has a POV that I find really fun. And I feel like it could be one like his Moon Knight, where it can kind of gain traction. But because it's tied into the idea of a whole section of a universe, they need to cut and run. And it kind of sucks. Because if it's all of it's not selling well, and they might have bigger plans for something like a bigger reset along the lines, they got to reset this too. Instead of picking and choosing what they want to do.
I think that's the issue with front running. Like Marvel had been number one for so long. And there's a point where you're just trying to keep enough points on the board to keep beating the other team. And it's not necessarily about strategy. It's just like, all right, what's the quick hit? I'll take the layup, I'll take, whatever. And I think what DC is benefiting from right now, like, sure, the Absolute line is going bonkers. And, the All In saga is doing well as well. But DC's been working on this for as long as like my second kid's been alive. Like it's been 5 years since they started the dawn of DC and really sort of seeding this thing where, okay, everything matters again. Let's find some traction. They interrupted it with Night Terrors, but it's been the same few people in the room, like kind of controlling things. And it just kind of slowly got up. And then Absolute launched and renewed interest in everything. And so it's like, but they had that on ramp. But I think you have the luxury of doing that when you're number two. Like when you're number two, you can strategize about how to get to number one. And it's okay if it takes longer because nobody expects you to be number one.
I think I think looking at it as the immediate set of books didn't sell is short term for the publication schedule involved. Like if we're saying, let's say 3 to 5 months out, right? And we see that 3 to 5 months out we're going to be taking a loss on something, but if what we've said is true, that you need to then revitalize the story and bring in top creators to be able to revitalize the line, then I think there's three-way forwards there. You either keep selling, a failing series, you sell in the short term so that in the medium term, maybe we bring Hickman back in. We tell a story, we try to rebuild that hype to reinvigorate the Imperial line, or you cut your losses and you decide, actually, I'm going to take the sales data for what it is, and this line as a whole is now lost. There is no way to recoup, even in the longer term, something of value.
I think that the Hickman as architect gimmick has failed. I think it's failed. I think it's time to put that to bed. I think it's time to accept that just throwing him in a place and saying, okay, set the stage, is not what people want to read. What we forget about Krakoa is that during the entire time, Hickman had at least one ongoing. He was a part of the creative team on New Mutants for the first 10 or so. I don't remember exactly, but he was a part of that creative team.
Yep.
And when the events rolled around, he was always lead writer for his Krakoan stay. With Avengers, he was the only person telling those stories. And that's not the same thing as being the architect of Marvel, because in the same way that Bendis was only doing his stories, but was a major part of the writers' rooms where they would craft this stuff, that's what was happening with Hickman. He was the only person dictating the future of the Avengers. Now, Hickman writes 4 issues of Imperial, then throws his hands up and isn't doing anything more. That's not what people want to see. I don't give a shit about Marvel's cosmic plans if Hickman is not the man in the chair writing them.
Or at least writing the book that kind of is the linchpin to the line, you know? Banksy Man here has a good point. He says, the problem is, while Hickman is an architect, when others try to use his blueprint, they fail. Only he can seem to pull off his type of writing.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think I wonder if there is ever going to be a lesson here for Marvel that, okay, 3 months in, 4 months in, the line isn't doing as great, rather than cut and run, which feels like, the more of an attempt at a money grab than the establishment of a corner of the universe. If they were to tell me, and you guys tell me if you feel differently, but if they were to tell me Hickman's coming back to right the ship, literally and figuratively, to figure out what the way forward is, collectively participate again, I would have a bit more faith in the line, at the very least, turning in a positive direction.
Now we've got over 140 people rocking with us live. Thank you so much. Hit that like button. We hit the GOAT game goal in 25 minutes. That's insane. Thank you so much. And I see Hayden just gifted 5 Comics Pals channel memberships. Thank you so much, dude. You've been crazy with the gifted memberships this month. Who won those, Marco?
Let me get those. I'm scrolling back down. All right, we got Foxtastic, Zenith Flare, Friends in Christchurch,
Amen.
John Kent, and Random Korean. Let's go.
Love it.
Wait, are you watching this from the church's account? Is that...
I think so. Yeah,
that is
Probably.
crazy.
I think somebody's watching from the church account. Yeah,
That's
you got
awesome.
click the account icon. Let's top right and just go to your main.
Yeah.
Well, that means we have a sub from that account too. Actually,
Hell yeah.
That's great.
Now, I want to talk about the Chip Zdarsky element of this, because since Imperial began, something changed. And that's Captain America and that run starting, and Armageddon, and the impending arrival of that event. Chip is clearly one of the people who is spearheading Marvel right now. However, he's doing it from the writer's seat. He is the core writer of Captain America. He's the core writer of Avengers Armageddon. We don't know for a fact that he's going to be the new writer of Avengers, but that's where it seems like things are trending. So he's leading from the ground. And that's the kind of thing that I think Marvel has to let Hickman do. Because Hickman is a great writer. I reject the notion that he's lost a step. I don't think he has lost anything. I think that the way he is being utilized is not the correct path. If you give Hickman like carte blanche on any book, I'm pretty sure it's going to be good.
Aliens versus Avengers.
I mean, people didn't like his Gods. I liked Gods, and that was kind of a Hickman solo thing.
What I mean is like something that has an established character with no no agenda, like Gods was supposed to, revitalize magic and personify these, one above alls and all these other people. Fuck all that. Jonathan Hickman on Punisher. Jonathan Hickman on Black Panther, which is what I've been asking for over a decade, is put that man on Black Panther.
He likes the character. Like, what the fuck is he doing?
That will work, but they don't want to pay him to do stuff like that.
I see. So you're saying the company itself wants to just relegate him to build this little corner and then give it to other people to fill out?
He keeps saying, like, Marvel doesn't pay me to do basic things.
Yeah.
That makes me believe, and we know, like, we've never literally heard there's a Hickman tax, but I like to say because it's funny. But come on, when you buy a Hickman book, it's generally at least $1 more than standard.
Yep.
They're not paying him the buku bucks that they pay him to do standard everyday books. ASM is selling without him. They don't need to do that.
Yeah. They can and then they can get someone that they can pay less on a monthly title.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
Listen, pay Hickman the big bucks to write Black Panther. I would love that, man.
Please.
And then in that scenario, right? For Marvel, that would only pay out if we're leading into some sort of event with Black Panther.
Yes.
Because that's the way that they're thinking about it, you know?
We'll pay you big bucks for 3 issues, and then hopefully we can ride the coattails of that.
Right.
And then get smaller creators to do the fallout.
Yep.
And I think that is what Imperial was, and it shows that it failed.
I feel like it's been showing that it's a failing idea since Krakoa.
Since he dipped.
That had a hard start. Then the rest of the writers wanted to stay in the realm that they wanted to keep rather than kind of see it through to an end.
That's a little. I feel like the Krakoa stuff's a little more complicated because there was a lot of creative input on that side that led to Hickman leaving. Realizing like his time has passed on it, and kind of ceding that to all the other creators. But yeah, I see what you mean.
I truly look at Marvel's editors and I say, okay, where is the control here? Why isn't there cohesiveness behind the scenes and a level of control where DC right now is working and we all agree Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson are doing a great job. We cannot stop the credit there. It goes up the chain. It goes up the ladder. It has to.
It goes straight to Javins.
It goes straight to Marie Javins. It goes to Jim Lee. It goes to Anna DePies. It goes to these people it goes to Chris Conroy. It goes to people who are working behind the scenes to make sure that all the trains arrive on time. And all the cohesion is there. Superman is gone. He just got in DCKO. Well, guess what? You can't find him in his core book right now. He's not there. If you look at what's happening in Marvel Cosmic, Hulk has some crazy stuff going on. If you go to Hulk's book and you think you're going to find a commonality, you're wrong. You won't. There is no book to read what's going on with the Hulk in Marvel Cosmic because in Hulk's book, he's not even the fucking Hulk.
And I think there's also an issue with use the Imperial books as an example, an editorial deciding on what titles come out.
Yeah.
I think if it had been Nova and not Nova Centurion, that would do better. If it would, I feel like they want to add, they don't ever want to just do, here's the She-Hulk book, here's the Nova book. Look at fucking Moon Knight. They can't even just do, here's Moon Knight. We have Mark Spector Moon Knight now. They want to come out with titles that can just be justified as miniseries based on the title itself. Like Imperial Guardians, why don't you have a Guardians of the Galaxy book out with a title like that? Why is it Black Panther Intergalactic? I'm more likely to pick up a Black Panther book than Black Panther Intergalactic because it makes me think, oh, miniseries, maybe not as important.
Yeah.
BJ and I probably are, we're obviously very invested in Black Panther. Both of us stopped buying Black Panther Imperial. Or, well, I shouldn't speak for you. You stopped buying it, BJ?
I stopped reading it.
Okay.
I did not stop buying it.
Okay. But you're not like
not invested.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
What has Marvel done to make you excited for Black Panther in the last, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years? Would you say there's been anything?
The costume redesign in the Exile era was really cool. I was very hyped about Eve Ewing's run for a second. And then they canceled that at 10 issues. I was like, I was enjoying this. I liked what they were cooking up, And that just kind of ended up just being a cool story that happened one time. And I've not been excited about Black Panther since. Well, there hasn't even been a book. There's been Ultimate Black Panther. And, he's been on the Avengers, but like, it's kind of the same thing as Imperial. Like, it's like, I don't care about the overall plot of the Avengers enough to stick around for when T'Challa has his shining moments. Him and Sam, for the record, people are enjoying their appearances there. I don't know if it's just because they like those characters. I don't know. I wasn't really vibing with the story, but some people are enjoying that stuff. But overall, like, just as a fan of Black Panther, I've been more excited for these omnibus collections they've been doing. We just got the basically the early years part 2. So now everything from beginning of time to Coates has been collected in an oversized hardcover, and that's dope. But since the Coates run, there has not been anything that's been exciting. In fact, there was the very much maligned John Ridley run, and a whole lot of lukewarm since then.
And it feels like, just like some of these core lines or things that Marvel wants us to believe are core, there just doesn't appear to be a plan that they're willing to commit to. Right. At some point, you have to say, this is what we are doing.
Yeah.
This is the plan. And yes, I'm not saying like, yeah, you got to fucking publish no matter what, even if it's not selling. But there has to be a commitment. Who here believes that Marvel's going to commit to anything this year? Any new idea?
Or that we get something past 10 that doesn't relaunch at a 1.
Brother, you said 10. This is 5.
Imperial Guardians wasn't even solicited before we knew this was happening.
What is happening
Like,
here?
I couldn't have even ordered it before they made the call. Which sucks for Dan Abnett. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
This isn't sour grape. This isn't anti-Marvel bias. This is like, we're looking at what's going on and we're saying, yo, what is happening here?
This is your dad saying, I'm not upset, I'm disappointed.
I have tried so hard to become a Marvel fan in the last 5 years. And it has been so difficult to expand outside of the X office. Like, just straight up. Like, Spider-Man has not been my jam. I tried Avengers. I tried Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four was fine. I just kind of fell behind. One World Under Doom was rough for me. And, the most recent thing that I've been like, okay, here's something I can latch on to at Marvel has been Captain America. And thus I'm excited for Armageddon.
Yes. Yeah.
But beyond that, I feel like I'm grasping at straws trying to enjoy Marvel.
Go ahead, Sean. You got something.
I just, because what BJ just said, like, you want it. Yeah. You want it. You're not on here saying, fuck Marvel, they suck. You want to be hyped. You just can't find your way in. But the thing you are sort of interested in is what's happening with Armageddon. Like, that's kind of interesting. Why? Because we see the road.
Yeah.
We're on the road. It's not, Imperial was just like, here it is. There's no road.
Also, like, how do you do Imperial where the main crux of it is that the Inhumans are back and no follow-up with an Inhumans book?
Yo, that's crazy. That was crazy. I thought I was going to get an Inhumans book, be like, wow, let's see the machinations.
That whole line.
Nova?
The whole line was like, oh, let's do a She-Hulk book. What? She wasn't. Like, can we have fucking Nova, Guardians, and Inhumans? Maybe that seems like a smart call.
Wild.
Fuck it, give me a Darkhawk book. God damn.
The
Style
cosmic?
So Serious, my bad. Style So Serious just pointed out that Cheryl Lynn Eaton's brief point on Black Panther. Yes, in the middle of the Blood Hunt event, there was a 3-issue Blood Hunt Black Panther book that was absolutely amazing. And what I was hoping for was that they would give her an ongoing. Her with Fareed Karami, who ended up on Avengers.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it.
That's how it used to be. You know, the miniseries was like a way of like a temperature check for a creative team.
Yeah. I just, it's very difficult to understand what yeah.
And look at what DC's doing right now. They had a lot of structure with All In. They had a kind of a main story that was being told where everything kind of aligned itself within that structure. And you had books like Challengers of the Unknown, Atom Project, and stuff kind of being staunchly within that. But now they're at a point where they could be like, all right, we can loosen up a bit. Let's do next level. Let's let the creators have their call. We'll talk about that a little later with Scott Snyder's tweets. But I'm sure somebody would want to write a Black Panther book and has a crazy idea for it. And is probably a really well-known creator out there that can market itself, you know?
Dude, Jed McKay.
That's why the only thing I could think is that they're cheap. That's the only reasoning I can give any of this.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, they're cheap.
There's no doubt.
That's why they've globalized their entire artist line.
You know who's not cheap though? This audience. This audience is amazing. We hit the GOAT game goal in 25 minutes. That is a record. There are over 150 people looking at our mugs. Thank you so much for that. I want to read this super chat real quick from Robert. 10 spot, thank you. To me, Hickman isn't even the architect of Marvel anymore because he doesn't do existing ongoings. He is an architect of new short-term gain side projects you can't lead from the sidelines. This is an excellent point, and it's a big reason why I think sentiment is changing on Hickman. Think about this. Every other architect that has ever existed led from the ground writing ongoing comics. The thing that we like the least about Marvel is the thing we currently associate Jonathan Hickman with the most. Short-term books with high prices that don't seem like they have long-term goals that the company's committed to. We associate Marvel with that and Hickman with that at the same time. That's bad. It's hurting Hickman's brand.
And he's branded himself on that.
Yeah. That's why he's like, yo, Through World, Through Moons, we got to put that out now.
Yo, actually, that was actually really hype news.
Y'all remember like how crazy the hype for Ultimate Spider-Man #1 was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the reason it was so hyped was because nobody had faith in that book. The pre-orders for that issue were like in the toilet. And then the issue came out and everybody's like, oh snap, this is actually good. But the reason the pre-orders were in the toilet was because that Ultimate Invasion series did not hit. You had a $10 issue 1.
Yep.
You had the 4 issues. And it was just like, what is this? What are we even doing with this? And then boom, the brand just kind of went crazy. And he kind of redeemed himself, if you want to call it that, you know, with the success of Ultimate Spider-Man #1. But I feel like if you include that whole story, it just speaks to the trend.
Yeah. And I think he did redeem himself there because it did feel like, okay, issue 1 hit. I want to say even up until like issue 4 or 5, we were still pretty excited. And then, you know, the weight of the bloat of Ultimate and the universe there and some of the like story machinations, then we started to feel it. But even then, initially it was Hickman's on an ongoing. He's doing career shit again that feels good. And then that diminished and has dwindled since.
I would argue not so much that Hickman dwindled, although I did fall off Ultimate Spider-Man. But it really feels like Dennis Camp came in and had everybody going crazy. Like, and then it was like, oh, Dennis Camp is architecting the Ultimates? Dope. What else is he doing? And then he had hits elsewhere.
The problem is that Ultimate Spider-Man is ass.
Straight
That's
booty.
the problem.
I was enjoying it all the way through, I would say 18. Once they got on like the Craven Island, I was kind of like, all right, bro, what are we doing?
Once they got to his first rogue. Once I started tackling the actual villains of Spider-Man, I was out. But I'm with you. I'm with you.
Ultimate Spider-Man was on that edge, hanging on, and pulled themselves out.
Let's hit some super chats. Common Sense dropped a bunch on us. Thank you as always, brother. You really hold us down. How Marvel treated their Cosmic line made me disappointed in them. So those Cosmic Invasion game variant covers mean nothing to them. Yeah, I mean, of course not. It's all a way to get you to buy more books. He also says Jed McKay had a Q&A on League of Comic Geek. Many people asked him if Sam Alexander will be in Nova. Jed said if the comic sold well, Sam will not return. It hurts characters' chances. Like if you're a Nova fan and you've been waiting for Nova's shot at bat again, all you got was 5 issues or whatever's.
I would have almost preferred it to be bad at this point. The fact that I actually enjoy it too, that sucks even more.
Yeah, I agree, because now you're not going to get it anymore.
Yep.
J Sage with the $4.99. Finally got into Nova. Read the 76, 94, 99, and right now on the Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning run. Because I was enjoying McKay's. Now it's gone. Always loved Cosmic. I don't know why it's seen as less.
Keep reading that stuff, though. That Nova's still really good. That's not going to change that. So.
Common Sense again. Yannick Belzil, the writer of Marvel Cosmic Invasion, says he is a fan of Nova. Marvel, you could give him early access to Nova Centurion to promote the comic.
Nah, he's cheap. They're not Marvel's cheap. You're gonna give anyone free shit.
Yeah, we can't get free shit. We talk about Marvel every day.
Yeah.
Not that we're looking for anything free. But we'll take it.
No, I am.
Homie Brain Podcast says Hickman said himself he is the idea guy. So yeah, too much is given, too much is given, much is required.
Yep.
I think that's a valid statement.
Yep.
Homie Brain.
Says it himself.
Samuel Summers with a 5 spot. I missed the original Hickman wave, so my opinion of him has been that he was overrated. But I probably need to go back and read his original stuff.
Read Shield and Secret Warriors.
Secret Warriors is that one. That's the one that I feel like a lot of people who love Hickman haven't read.
And that was the whole thing where it was like Hickman kind of newish to Marvel. So they have Bendis co-write with him originally that DC started doing now, remember like Morgan Hampton on Green Lantern Corps. That's now Morgan Hampton's book. And it's fucking rad.
Common Sense says, why Marvel made each issue of Hickman's Gods $9.99 each? In my opinion, that seems like sabotage. I don't think they were all $9.99.
No.
I think it was just the issue one.
Yeah.
And it might not have been $9. It might have been like $8.99. I don't remember.
It was up there. And I think the subsequent issues were still an expensive Marvel issue. Like $1 more than all the other ones. But and then the finale, I think, went back to a big price point.
In that same time frame, we got 2 massively priced Hickman books. We got the Ultimate Invasion issue 1, and then that Gods book. There was a lot of scuttlebutt about, okay, what is happening here? Because these books are just way too expensive.
Yeah, it was $9.99 for the first issue, and then $4.99 for everything else. 2 to 8.
Entertain Me with a 5 spot says, here's some money.
Okay.
Thank you. We love money. You know who else loves money? BJ Kicks of Comics Are Dope. You guys should subscribe to his Patreon. You guys should subscribe to his channel. He makes incredible videos. I love to see, BJ, the fact that when you put out those weekly comics previews, bro, 2K, like, what, 12 hours, 20 hours deep? Like, it's a short window. Like, people come, they show out for you. I love it.
I certainly appreciate it.
Yeah. And on the Patreon, you got some interviews with some of the Dakota Incident creators, right?
Yes. Every writer on the Dakota Incident got interviewed for my most recent video, and I used like 10 minutes of quotes out of the 5 hours that I interviewed people. So those full interviews are going up on the Patreon. Joe Illidge and Stephanie Williams are already up there. I forgot to upload Morgan Hampton yesterday, so him and Nick Draper Ivy will be on the Patreon later today after I finish this stream. So yeah, enjoy, eat up. That Nick Draper Ivy interview is quite salacious. I have the benefit of just, being friends with these creators over the last 5 years. So it's just different conversation than you might expect to hear. So enjoy it.
Without going into it, because we didn't plan to talk about this, and I don't want to it's just not, it wouldn't be appropriate. Everybody's busy talking about the rivalry between Comics Explained and Blurred Without Fear. I say those two, let them have that fucking culture war if they feel like it. Go ahead and watch BJ Kick's fucking "The comics industry still doesn't understand Milestone's legacy" video. You want to cut out the noise and actually talk about comics and stop the infighting? Watch the video. That's how you support Black history, not by yapping and arguing and beefing.
Send those views to someone who does the work.
Exactly.
Well.
Exactly. Comics are dope. Thank you. Common Sense also says, I wish on McKay's Q&A and ask him if Cammy still has Cosmic King's parasite inside of her, meaning she has powers. She did mention Cosmic King in number 4. Dude, you remember shit that I can't even believe.
I think I picture Common Sense looking like Hector Hammond. It's just all that information up there.
All dome.
Yeah.
I hoping Dan Abnett would be on live stream to promote his Imperial Guardians. I also want to ask him questions about other cosmic comics he wrote.
Think about being Dan Abnett right now. You don't even need to promote the book. It's DOA, which fucking sucks.
Word. We have 160 plus people here. This is nuts.
He at least got his page rate for the first issue, though, right?
Yeah.
I guess you turn in the script, you get your money.
Yeah.
100%.
But I know Marvel was like, no Andy Lanning, we're going to cut it in half.
Yeah, I would hate, I don't know. What's worse? It's definitely worse to get paid and the book not come out. I still want that Ho Che Anderson Luke Cage book.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't
Because
know,
then,
man.
You think that ever comes out?
No.
No chance.
Yeah.
And think about how his career has changed. Where's he at?
Not in comics.
Yeah. That book would have put him more on the map. And Marvel didn't even have anything for him. Where's the make good at?
To be fair, Ho Che Anderson is an incredibly talented illustrator who's had a career as a very talented illustrator for quite some time. He's fine. He's not in the lexicon in comics right now, but he's absolutely fine. He's more than fine. By the way, he did do a variant cover for the first issue of the Batman Static Beyond. He also had a variant for, God, what was the other one? There was another book. Oh, he did, I want to say he did a cover for Mr. Terrific Year 1 as well with Dennis Cowan. But the point being, he's doing great, but I really want that Luke Cage book. I felt like it had something to say. I
wonder if he could retool it to get rid of all the Marvel properties, kind of tell the story still.
I think part of the draw of that book, not to derail this entire conversation, my bad, Sean, but part of the draw of that book is Luke Cage is the mayor of Marvel's New York City.
That's true. Yeah.
And how does the Marvel universe deal with that incident? But
let me read off, because you guys are so wonderful today. Hopefully you will give me the grace to shout out our lovely, beautiful patrons and not leave, because we've got a lot more conversation to have about this very subject. I want to know what we think Hickman should do next. That's what I want to know. So after this brief shout out. That's what we're going to answer. Special shout out to our pals versus legends, the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, Starcross, Catherine Stars, the Spear of Judgment, Jace Jumble, Jalen Jackson, the Sanguine Sorcerer, Safe Haven, Hayden's Hideout, Jesse and the Juggernaut, Kyle, the Zenith Flare, Panda v Panda, Ted Wong, Adam, Solus Smith, Sam, the Last Young Renegade, Blur, Jekyll, Jose, Entertain Me, Peter, Living Lightning, Electrics, Just Unseen, Shalom, Paladin, Warburg, Jamzilla, my brother, Cosm the Andric. And thank you to Pals vs. Members, Brian, Demolisher Del Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum, Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth to Know, Marley Manastorm, Slow Flow Dammer, and Christian Uncaged. The Spear of Justice, Izzy's Issues, Robert Runback, Cashback, Pete the Dream River Collins, James Just Shamming Jones, Paul Powerhouse Smith, Neon Knight, the Cosmic Avenger. BJ Kicks of Comics Are Dope. Comics are dope on Patreon. Comics are dope on YouTube. Subscribe. He's the man. The Grand Alchemist, Chop Harder Alchemist, and John Barrier B. If you did not hear your name and you're supposed to, stick around. You will hear it later on in this program. Okay, so currently, Hickman has no Marvel project that is announced, that is releasing. What is next for Marvel's architect?
All right, if we look at the Trinity, they're all taken right now. Your Thor, your Cap, your Iron Man, by pretty well-known creative teams. So it's not that. Man, even like I'm trying to think of like what other characters are prominently featured in the run up to Armageddon, right? Specifically, there's a teaser with Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Captain Marvel on it. Spider-Man's coming up with issue 1000. Could that be that he writes Amazing Spider-Man after 1000? That's the launch point for that.
I can't see that.
I don't either. I'm just throwing it out there.
That book also comes out way too often for Hickman to be
That's true.
right.
That's true. Yeah. Does he do Wolverine? That doesn't seem big enough.
I don't think Hickman touches a mutant again.
Wolverine can kind of exist outside of it, but I'm with you. Yeah. And then no offense to Captain Marvel. Marvel doesn't even care about putting out a book for her right now.
Honestly, I say put him on the back burner for a little bit. Like, you have a few events coming out. Give it until post the summer, post Armageddon, get your ducks in a row. And then, because we still don't know where Bendis fits into all of this.
Hickman is in the room.
Yeah.
For Armageddon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like he's still architecting. I don't know that he necessarily has to be like the guy with a book on the stands right now to earn that check and, really help the line move forward. But I don't know what he does after.
He's in his consultant era while he does his creator-owned stuff.
I don't think it's a bad position for him at this point. Like, stay kind of consulting or give a nudge, provide some direction. Maybe this is where he moves into a bit of more of like an editorial space.
It's more like a creative director, really, rather than any kind of editorial.
I think that would be not great. Not because Hickman isn't good at it, but because he's a writer and writers write. And all creators need to be on the stands. Like there's no good that can come from not being published at a time. I don't think that Hickman would like, as a creator, you want to be out there.
Yep.
So I think that whatever he's cooking up is going to have to be a big deal. And I think that the fact that we haven't heard anything yet about what Hickman is doing next, there's a reason for that.
You think it could be a dual Avengers title, kind of focusing the future of the Marvel Universe? Chip on Avengers, Hickman on a new?
That would be incredible. I would love to see that. That would be really cool.
And that way you have like your big two guys kind of forming out the world.
That would be very, very cool. Here's a question from Sly Blue Demon, who's been a channel member for 5 months. Thank you so much. Do you guys think we need a leadership shakeup at Marvel? Marvel feels stagnant.
So that question sounds like, do we need CB Cebulski replaced? That's how I'm reading that. And I don't know.
Need a Tom Brevoort reorged a little.
He's not that. He's doing his own thing in his own separate section. If we have an X-Men discussion, sure, we can talk about that. But I don't think that matters to the greater scheme of things. I think CB is doing
DC.
Yeah, but I don't think in the eyes of Marvel, I don't think CB is doing anything wrong. They are still have market share. They have the brand recognition. They're probably paying people less because of the way CB's globalized the artist side of things. They get artists from all over the world now, and CB has been very good, especially getting artists in Europe. But that's also where the American dollar goes a lot further around there. So they don't need to pay United States. I mean, it's almost outsourcing, and put it in a nihilistic kind of way. But it probably means Marvel is able to justify a lot of titles because they're paying cheaper rates on them, or at least making more money from the top end. So I think CB is doing right from a business standpoint. He will get replaced once the heat on everything else gets too hot, and it kind of overshadows their business success, if that makes sense.
Look, when we talk about DC, one thing that we have to mention in their success is the fact that they overhauled their insides. It's a different company than it was 10 years ago. From a personnel standpoint, they have a different philosophy, top to bottom. I don't need to do a deep dive for you to know that. It's obvious. Marvel is run by the same people it was 10 years ago, with very similar philosophies that we were already complaining about 10 years ago. The short-term gains thing did not start yesterday. I remember very vividly the complaints that even I had, loud complaints that I had about relaunching of titles like Avengers, that I want to see with those high legacy numbers. We talked about this. We're getting to the point where 10 years ago is when this show existed. And Marco and I were on here complaining about all this shit.
Yeah.
Marvel has to change. But the people running it are the same people.
Yeah.
I'm not calling for anyone's jobs. I hate that. I'm not saying fire anyone. I'm only saying you can't expect change when the same people are in charge. That's how I feel. But I don't want anyone to lose their job.
How do new people get it in charge if people don't lose jobs?
It's not my place to say who should lose their job. I don't want to come on here and advocate for that kind of thing. I'm not fucking one of these other channels. But you're right.
I get that. I don't have any bad blood against anybody. I couldn't tell you what half of these people do to warrant someone else in their role. Like, I couldn't tell you what someone is doing bad at. It does feel like there needs to be some kind of innovation somewhere, but I don't know how you achieve that.
How did Dio get ousted? Who made that call?
Didio's ousting was a combination of COVID, the high expenses of their workspace and needing to cut expensive contracts, and the vicious battle that was happening behind the scenes between Didio, Scott Snyder, and others over 5G.
My question is, like, does publisher make that call? Like, who's the guy? It's the publisher. So if we were to be like a editor-in-chief change at Marvel, it would be a Dan Buckley call.
It would be the president.
But, you know, to that point, Sean, the rumor has it DiDio had lost his team. He had lost the locker room, so to speak. If creatives at Marvel aren't unhappy, you know, who cares? We're selling all the books. You know, we're as big as we've needed to be. Our understanding is that, you know, these really are just kind of advertisements for the movies anyway. It's not like we need an established direction for the line except to not lose readership, you know, or sales numbers. I don't know. It's mission accomplished.
And like, there's no locker room at Marvel either. You know, they're all over the place. There's only a couple people who are writing more than one book. Almost every book has a different writer.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get that book out and hope it doesn't get canceled. So there's no like unity in terms of a creative vision, even from the creative side.
Jay says with $4.99, I think Chip's event probably affected this. Honestly, fans don't help either. For some reason, street level is held in such high regard because it's relatable, quote unquote. I don't know, man. I mean, can you really criticize fans for what they do and don't want to read? Like, Marvel Cosmic has never been a crazy draw. Like,
No.
look at the numbers that space was doing during the Annihilation years. They weren't. It wasn't insane.
I've even seen like reports from like people like LCS owners who said even after the Guardians movies came out and Guardians of the Galaxy is a well-known name, the book doesn't sell still.
Yeah, it's just not a draw.
Yeah.
You can't really, like, what are you supposed to do? Go ahead.
No, this is all a taste thing, right? Sure. But the reason I read comics as opposed to like fantasy novels is I don't have time to like try to make those connections for the world building in my head. So like street level stories, like it's just more accessible. Like it's just beyond my reach. Like there's fantastical elements, but I kind of understand the world these characters are in. Once you start going on spaceships and there's like, all right, this dude is blue and this one's pink and they're from different planets and I got to understand the politics of the planet. It's too much for me. Wow.
That's a great point. That's a great point. There's so many things you need to know. Marvel Cosmic is so woven, and they just didn't try to make it welcoming this time around. And I'm puzzled as to why.
It's like trying to get into Game of Thrones in the final season and not having watched all of it.
Well, Let me guess, you did that?
No, I watched from the beginning, unfortunately.
Season 1.
No, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot to already know, and there's a lot of
Yes.
interdynamic, like interrelations and factions and all that.
Yeah. Common Sense with a $4.99 reminder: Dan Abnett's Imperial Guardians is supposed to be an ongoing series when it was announced, and their solicit now past 2 solicitations. It's a mini.
Rip.
There's a book that Marvel was promoting. I wish I could remember what it was. I
Exiles?
just saw it. Was it Exiles? They were promoting as 10 issues, but then now it's 5.
Oh, as Doom Quest.
Doom Quest, thank you. Yes.
Yep. It was announced about a week ago. And now it's back down to 5.
Well, we've known about Doom Quest for a little while. The new one was the Al Ewing one shot.
This is the Ryan North one.
Yeah. And this was solicited a little while ago, and then people found in Marvel previews that it's now being solicited as 5 issues instead of 10. There's a shift at Marvel. There's no doubt. Dan Buckley was very clear in the summer of 2024. Very clear. I am greenlighting issues for 10. I'm greenlighting books for 10 issues at a time. That's what he said. That's out the window now.
There is, even the way we were talking to Stephanie Phillips last week, where she described she had written issue 5 of Planet She-Hulk like any other issue. And then 6, she said there will be a distinct change in the direction. You can tell. It's literally a sharp left turn that Marvel took somewhere, where even the idea of low sales doesn't justify it. There's a little tea leaves with low sales, you know, that you can warn a creator. Like, if you're saying, hey, you got to redo issue 6 because we're making a distinct change that last minute, that's more than just low sales. There's something going on.
Jay Sage with $1.99. Hickman on Sentry, Hulk, Warlock. He suits Cosmic.
Hot take.
Hickman
Sentry's
on-
not cosmic.
Agreed.
Aren't his powers like cosmic based?
The whole point I think that makes Sentry work is that he's on Earth, and there's gravitas to him fucking things up.
Yeah, like do you think of Superman as a cosmic hero?
I guess not.
They can't even decide whether or not he does a face mask
He's
in
an
space.
American.
He's an American.
Jeez.
Wow. You got that shit right, Marco.
Great. So,
Um,
and for you guys have all read way more Hickman than I. And people always say that Hickman, like, you know, serves well for cosmic. X-Men definitely had cosmic elements. There was sci-fi, there's time travel, there was a lot. But X-Men worked for me because they're the X-Men.
Yep.
What does it take for a Hickman book to like just hit everyone and not just like a pocket of fans?
I think X-Men did that. I mean, he always talked about his plans for what was it, Sunspot and Cannonball and being in space. There was a story there. He just never got to tell it. So I don't even think Hickman's really fully tackled cosmic outside of Imperial and some of his Avengers run.
Yeah, his Avengers run was fairly cosmic at times, especially in like the first act of it. That led to that Thanos event. I forget what it was called now.
Ooh, yes, that was shit.
Infinity?
Yeah,
Infinity. That shit was cool and very cosmic, but it didn't include a lot of the characters you associate with cosmic Marvel.
Yeah,
it just was in space.
They had my boy Ex Nihilo on that book.
I think what I like about the idea of Hickman doing a thing that is inaccessible to me is the infographics and the explainers. Like, it's very detailed. It's very like, you know, I don't know, but it's almost like having, I don't know, the video game strategy guide as you're playing the game.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, cool. I like this. I can get into this. This book is very deep, but there is an on ramp.
It's funny as somebody who's read probably every Marvel Hickman book. I don't read that shit anymore. I skip those pages.
At this current moment, we have the most concurrent live viewers ever. Thank you so much for that.
It is a Marvel podcast.
BJ.
No, that's what you should be saying. That's what you should be saying.
Oh shit! BJ brings the boys to the yard. Is that what it is?
Got the milkshake.
Sure.
What, you don't like that?
It's just that phrasing is weird.
Hell no, man! What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
Yeah, I don't think BJ's been on since I brought the soundboard back.
Oh my god, I did not know you had a soundboard.
Oh, yep. I use that one on Sean a lot.
All the time.
Give him the fucking Dr. Umar, bro.
I've moved it. I'm still waiting on my bigger soundboard. It's not on there anymore.
That I need that one today. Today's what, the last day of February?
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed that reminder. Jay Sage says Imperial teased my boy Janice Vell. Guess it's over. Yep. It over.
Goodbye. Never started.
Man, Gina Spell too. Damn.
Common Sense says no epilogue of Scar. He doesn't know his twin brother died. Last time he saw Scar was in Death of Silver Surfer.
Did you get that one by Robert, Sean?
The 10 spot I did, yeah. We talked about it. Holler and Matt is a Comics Pals channel member at the Sidekick tier. Thank you so much, Matt. You guys are crazy today. I can't even look at the live chat. I have to look at the fucking super chat because that's the only way I can see them right now. It's crazy.
I got two. We got Andrew Dunson with the $4.99. Shout out to you, Andrew. Marvel's owned by Disney, a company with more money than God. Why are the floppies under so much pressure to justify their own existence?
I'm with Andrew on this one. Why are they being so cheap?
Why are they being so cheap?
Yeah.
My gut just says Marvel has too many books. It's not so much that they're cheap. They're probably putting out just as much in creative as any other company, but spread across too much.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
I have heard their page rates are ass.
Well, I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've not heard any better on the DC side.
Fair,
So.
fair, yeah. I mean, I need Josh tomorrow. Help me. Save me, Josh tomorrow.
And the floppies are also such like the lowest down the funnel, you know, that it's that's going to be your first touch point a lot of the time at the shop.
Not only that, physically their books feel cheaper. DC's covers always feel better.
The cardstock, maybe.
I think even the A1
experience when I was first getting comics. X-Men #3 had a really dope Alex Ross cover, and that joint just rubbed off right on my fingers, and I was like, "Bro, what?" Like,
wait, it like the ink came off?
The ink just like came off. I was just reading the book.
We had a guy in the comments this week say that when he bought an issue of a Marvel comic, halfway through it became a different comic. Like the pages were from a different book.
It was from Avengers, dude. That cursed Avengers 500, man.
Yep.
Insane.
Common Sense with $4.99 says, Tyler, if you got an interview with Dan Abnett, what would you ask him? I'd ask him about Darkhawk and Guardians 3000 with Gina Drake.
Okay, I would ask him fuck, marry, kill, Blastar, Union Jack, and Annihilus. That's what I would ask him. That woke Sean up.
That was crazy. And then the last one we have to get to for now. You guys have been incredible with the super chats. Keep them rolling in. Common Sense. What is your opinion on Adam Blackveil, aka Night Mask? He was created by Hickman. Greg Weisman was the only writer to use him after Hickman.
Night Mask. That was Night Mask and Starbrand, right? Weren't they like a duo? Yeah.
Yeah, he was, he was cool.
Dude, my opinion, I had to Google him.
I mean, we'll get to the Go game. If you get picked, you're gonna have to Google some more later. But Night Mask, that was Starbrand and Night Mask were recreations of what was that other imprint? The Jim Shooter imprint? What was it? It was like the one that Marvel bought. Somebody's gonna say it in the chat. Night Mask.
Kurt Wildshut says, have you guys mentioned that this Marvel strategy reflects trends among smaller publishers? Dark Horse, Oni Press, Boom Studios, Mad Cave, etc. also only do miniseries if they sell well, then sequels.
Well, that feels like it makes more sense for those publishers. I would imagine they would want the ongoing to sort of sell, but there's so many good comics now that it's, if you're sacrificing a stellar DC book for a stellar Boom book, between those two, I'd imagine people lean more onto the DC end. So that one's tough.
I don't like this notion that Marvel only publishes miniseries. That's not true. Like I can't let that get off because that's not the case.
Yeah, 10-issue ongoings.
Yeah, they do. They do ongoings disguised as miniseries.
There's a level of we have to acknowledge that Marvel cares about money most. DC does too, by the way.
Sure.
But their tactics are different. Marvel cares about money most. If Marvel could sell you, if they believe they could sell you 50 issues straight of Thor and have that 50th issue be labeled Thor number 50 and you show up strong for it, they would sell you that. They don't believe it. It's a chicken or egg scenario, but they're the ones who control the pace. Or rather, excuse me, we're the ones that control the pace.
Yeah. If we stop buying
the buyers.
Yeah, if we stop buying number ones, we'll stop making them,
There's only one ultimate reason why the Imperial plans changed, and that's because we didn't like the plans. We told them we didn't like the plans by not buying into the plans. What are they supposed to do?
Go buy Nova.
It's too late now.
Damn.
Unfortunately.
To our point about Marvel being the biggest company or Disney being the biggest company in the world and owning Marvel, Heroes has a comment says departments don't work that way in corporations. Marvel's given a budget and are supposed to justify they're still being funded, and IP isn't enough reason. And that's true. Corporations do have business units, and each business unit is judged separately from a profitability standpoint. And yeah, that's So if that's the case, if what we're saying is, hey, just because this is Disney doesn't mean that like Marvel gets to skate, then how does Marvel do better?
It's a good question. It's a great question. And I'm not, I mean, my answer is creative focused storytelling that is interwoven and plays to the strength of a shared universe. My answer is not unique. It's not special. I'm not smart. I know that because it works. I've seen it work already. I know it's working in DC. I don't see any reason why it can't work in Marvel. I'm pulling from a blueprint that is currently actively working in comics. And DC's not richer than Marvel. They don't have more money behind them than Marvel. None of that's true. Marvel could put the money into creatives if they wanted to. And if they can't, if they really can't, use what you have. They have a roster of great creators, writers and artists who we read their work all the time.
Look at Stephanie Phillips. When she started at Marvel, she wasn't that well known, you know, but she's building a name for herself, and they're then giving her Daredevil, which is the way it used to be. You know, you kind of built, you know, you cut your teeth on other books and you get to do a higher profile book.
Speaking of, well, I know this is a topic later in the show, but that Daredevil is like huge on pre-orders. So like the number one and getting a creator that people like certainly is working, or it seems to have worked for one issue.
And adding gambling to it definitely helps sell.
The Daredevil blind bag is crazy.
you think the name came first? Like there's a real chicken and the egg situation. Did the name come first and they were like, ooh, blind bag would really work with Daredevil? Or they knew it was going to be a blind bag before that?
I don't know. Somebody, it's great.
Somebody was, I feel like, guys, blind.
We could do the funniest
thing
ever.
Yeah, they called HR on them.
Yeah.
Aaron Ruiz says, we got Avengers consistently reaching 30 issues across creators, even though people overwhelmingly call the books boring. They can do it, but only for a few. They do it. Yeah, they do it with the books that sell. If you look at the top 30 books, any Marvel book in there is probably okay. Probably safe from the dreaded relaunch. Anything outside of that, probably not okay.
And even then, new creative teams tend to be a new number one. Like they were doing that. Even like Avengers, yes, Jim McKay's on it, but he's been on it for all those issues. Like Daredevil has avoided having to be Daredevil Man Without Fear or Daredevil Protector of Hell's Kitchen, like a mini series title, because it sells well. They continue to put out Daredevil issues. Yeah, they're going to launch a new number one when a new creative's on it, but they're still just doing that.
Yo, does it sell well? I just did ICB2's top 50 for both November and December. Avengers ain't there.
Well, it is ending, and
it's
it is kind of.
Oh, sorry. Kind of. November was number 50.
Yeah.
That is why it's ending, probably, and they're going to relaunch it. Yeah, that's why Avengers Armageddon is coming.
Relaunching with new creative teams, you know, like it's fine. It's kind of ass. I wish we could see those bigger numbers, but it's fine. Spiral asked, why did Immortal Hulk get to 50? Because it sold, dude. It sold. It outsold Batman. The book was fire. Yep. Why aren't we asking that same question about Poison Ivy? I bring it up not because I dislike the book, but I don't understand why Poison Ivy skates. Poison Ivy does not sell great. It's a darling. We love it. We love that it succeeds in the sense that they keep publishing it. But DC continues to publish it because they feel like if they don't, it will create a bad narrative. Notice they don't give that same energy to any fucking black character.
Do you think, well, we could talk about that, but do you think that book maybe justifies itself digitally? I do, like, even if we use League of Comic Geeks as a dipstick, right? That book is consistently high up on their list whenever that book comes out. And I feel like that kind of audience might be a digital audience.
I just don't think every book needs to sell well to justify its existence. If it's a good story, if it's critically acclaimed, if it's well received, well reviewed, let them cook.
That's true. DC did put out a Challengers of the Unknown book that did a whole year's worth of a story and had a clear beginning, middle, and end. I doubt anyone was really buying that.
How many issues did that have? Like 6?
I think it was. I mean, that was not an ongoing, so maybe that doesn't really affect this discussion, but
feel like that's
DC's okay with putting out a book that's not going to sell. That's what I was trying to get at.
And I mean, I don't know. We got to define not sell, but it's hard without sales numbers to say, okay, like to say, okay, this isn't in the top 50 and it's the Avengers. That seems like an indictment, right? But let's say Poison Ivy's at number, I don't know, 56. As long as it's making enough to justify or to pay back its editorial cost, it's fine. You got money makers elsewhere.
I agree with that perspective, but clearly Marvel doesn't.
Yep.
It's tough. I really don't know what the answer. But look at what Hayden says. Birds of Prey was higher than Ivy on the sales charts, but it got canceled instead of Ivy. And that's an excellent point. Kelly Thompson has said that book, she was told they needed to do something different because sales weren't that strong. They offered her to relaunch it with a number 1. She said, no, we can just call it a day.
Yeah.
They pulled up the white flag on Birds of Prey before Poison Ivy, a book that's original Destiny was a 6-issue mini.
Now it's what, issue 40 something?
Yeah.
That's insane. G. Willow Wilson must have some dirt on Javens. That's the only thing I can justify. No, that's diminishing the actual book. I think the book's fantastic. People should check it out. People should be buying that book to justify how good it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if people bought every book that they say is good, we'd have a different industry. And that's sort of my final point on this whole mess. Is Marvel screwing things up? I think so. I'm not happy with their publishing line right now. And there are changes that I would like to see. And this disaster with Imperial is a great example of the problems that they have. But ultimately, we are the people with the buying power, and we're choosing what we're reading and not reading. If you think the X-Men books aren't great, stop buying them.
Please.
Don't buy what you don't like. Buy what you do like.
All those amazing Spider-Man haters still buying the book.
Any other final thoughts?
I'm just
well soon, Marvel. We're pulling for you.
Oh shit.
Get Hickman a vacation, let him recharge, let him think that big brain of his so he can come back in maybe the summer, give us a nice lead up into the winter.
In all seriousness, like running a publishing company in 2026 that prints books on paper and distributes them to stores, that is not an easy feat. I don't know how, like, I can't imagine the job that someone like a C.B. Cebulski or a David Gabriel has and how they navigate that in this ever-changing climate, especially in a world where Disney has a hyper focus on it, like, from a certain political sector that is kind of running the world right now. Like, there is so much pressure to tell a certain type of story, a certain way, without incensing people, while keeping your bottom line up. Like, there's a lot to juggle for any company right now. So, I hope they figure it out. I have no idea how you approach it, but yeah, good luck.
I mean, maybe once the Ellisons control all of DC, then we can Marvel can just dance in their ashes.
Does Marvel then become like the I don't know, is that the one everybody's pulling for now? Like, does left versus right become Marvel versus DC? Like, that's crazy.
Sources tell me Marvel is stable, please God.
Hard Nips Gisardo says, let Hickman do what he really wants to do without any guardrails and restrictions.
Good news, he is, and it's coming to Dark Horse. It's called Three Worlds, Three Moons.
That's right.
Coltrane says, another Image Renaissance is coming up. Look at the Orc and White Sky blowing up. I'll take my dollars there. Eating good. I got to push back. I think that we are seeing speculation at its best. People are buying White Sky that didn't give a fuck about why they were buying White Sky. People are buying Dork because without knowing why they're buying it. I want to see, if you want to see a renaissance, it's got to be books that are super high quality with an energy behind them.
Yeah.
That will be the renaissance. That's not what's happening in the indie space yet.
Yeah, let's see those issue 2 sales.
Exactly. Yeah. Give it a second.
It's AstroTurf right now as a response to the success of like Absolute stuff, I think. People saw what an Absolute Batman #1 goes for.
Yeah. Totally agree. We're not done with this show by any stretch of the imagination. We've got a lot more to talk about. BJ's on the hook with us all day, yeah?
It depends on how long your day is.
8 p.m.
Then no.
I mean, you don't have any other things to do today, right? You don't. It's not like you got kids or
not like I got kids or a wife that likes to see me or anything, you know?
Well, I wouldn't know what that's like. Likes you? That's insane, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Blessed.
I had one that didn't like me. That was hard.
God.
You guys having fun today? What's up? Chat, talk to us. You fucking with us still? We got 150 plus of you here with us live. Loving where our averages are at these days. So many of you show up for us on Saturdays. You are so real for that. Thank you. We rewarded you all month with the Ignition Press starter packs that we gave away. We gave away 3. Those addresses have been shipped off to Ignition, so you should be receiving your books in due time. Let's talk about March. Let's talk about the month of March.
Oh, I thought you were talking about John Lewis and Andrew Aiden.
Why would I be talking about that?
All right, bro.
This is a weird game you guys are playing. That is letting me and Marco just sit back and listen.
Oh, I'm enjoying it.
I'm just having fun with BJ. BJ's my favorite. I like fucking with him. And one day you're gonna curse for me. I guarantee it. It's gonna happen.
That's a weird way to say that. First
word
of all,
for me.
Also, no.
It's good. Look, you could say it's weird if you want to. One day I'm gonna hear you curse.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
It's going to. I guarantee. You're gonna be so mad at me or so angry about something or whatever. You're gonna curse. It's gonna happen.
Gonna let a frick fly.
Sean's gonna show up. Sean's gonna show up to Heroes Con and say he doesn't really care much for Milestone.
Listen, bro. That's him. There's no world in which I'm popping blood vessels in my brain about comics the way Sean does. It's just, bro, turn the game off.
BJ doesn't let that cortisone level spike.
Mute the headset.
I haven't popped any blood vessels. I'm doing lovely this morning.
It's good. Have you ever on the show?
Never.
No, never. I don't even get mad.
No, you just gotta tell them about the 20-year-olds that are running the industry. That'll set them off.
You're the one who wants to talk about people under 21, BJ.
Jesus,
That's wild. That's crazy.
We can do this all day, bro. I am very, very prepared for this kind of thing.
That's gotta dry it out when it gets to that point.
I was trying to tell you guys about our March plans. BJ the Disruptor over here. In March, we are going to be doing a Doomsday Clock book club. It was sponsored. It's a sponsored book club. That's going to happen on March 9th. March 9th, we're talking Doomsday Clock. I am ordering an absolute edition of this book. I decided. I'm going to do it.
You could just read it on the app, you know?
All right. Anybody know of any significant events happen March 9th?
No.
Doomsday Clock book club.
Oh, no. Actually, I don't. What's March 9th?
Greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. Notorious B.I.G.
Eminem's
March
still
9th.
alive. What are you saying?
No, okay, that's bait. That's fucking bait. Hold on.
What?
Sean said Eminem's still alive.
Okay. All right, bro. That's it.
What's the beef? You said greatest rapper of all time. Eminem's not dead. Hello.
That's also a quote. That's also it's a quote from Cannabis. It's a diss to LL Cool J, who actually created the GOAT acronym for greatest of all time. And so when Cannabis wanted to diss LL, he's like, actually, the greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. But anyway.
Who's having beef with LL? What's he like? He was like in Deep Blue Sea and shit. Like he just.
Cannabis had beef with LL. There was a song that Cannabis featured on with LL Cool J. Are we really doing hip hop history? Hey, it's Black History Month. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah.
LL Cool J was on a song with Cannabis. Cannabis was like the second coming to Redman, kind of Black Eminem type dude, right? Very lyricist, like lyrical miracle rapper. He's on this song with LL. He says, "Yo, L, is that a mic on your arm? Let me borrow that." LL Cool J on the same song responds like basically like little broing him, like, "Nah, you can't get this microphone off my arm," which is crazy because it was like that was clearly an homage line. But then Cannabis took offense, and so he, when he responded, it was not nice. But then LL responded again, and I say LL Cool J won that beef. But anyway,
I'll make sure to read it in my Hip Hop Family Tree graphic novel.
That's not in there. Cannabis versus LL is not in there. But there is a great documentary series by Quincy Jones III called Beef, and there's a I can't remember which episode. They did like 3 documentaries called Beef. I can't remember which one covers the LL versus Cannabis battle, but it's entertaining.
Those were really good. Now, I have an agenda to talk about March, okay? And BJ is not going to keep me from doing this.
Cannabis also had beef with Eminem, by the way.
I know, and Cannabis got slaughtered. Now, we decided, because of this book club that's coming in on March 9th, Doomsday Clock, we decided we might as well go all the way and make March DC Rebirth Month. So, all across our platforms, you guys are able to cast your nominations for the book you want to represent DC Rebirth Month here on the channel. That being said, that's not all we're doing for March and DC Rebirth. I told you guys we do one in the first quarter of 2026. We are still in that. Is a time frame that I'm very excited about and very interested in, and I will have a lot to say, because March will feature the DC Rebirth Deep Dive.
Let's go.
Yes. I love it, Tyler. You need the real one.
I need the one with the more reverb on it. Yeah.
I've already started the process. I better have started it, Jesus, of looking into this era, of compiling information. There's so much to say about this time in comics. The chat going crazy for this makes me so happy. I love it.
So where does the Rebirth deep dive end? Do you take it all the way to Death Metal, Dark Knight's Metal, or Doomsday Clock?
I want to go all the way through Death Metal because I feel like there's a clear arc in Rebirth, like not necessarily in universe, but out of universe. I think there's a very clear arc of Rebirth, and I really want to tell you guys about it. So the first week of March, so next week, the Rebirth deep dive will begin, and I can't wait.
I'm sorry. Do you have your deep dives on a playlist? Because I think putting the deep dives on a playlist and then sequencing them in chronological order would be amazing. Because now Rebirth goes to the 5G deep dive, and you're just telling the story of comics like that.
Like overall, we have playlists for the individual deep dives, because they're multi-episode. But I see what you're saying.
I love that idea. We won't be paying you for it, but I really do appreciate the idea.
Mr. Marvel Comics over here.
If there are books from the Rebirth era that you think I should look at, tell me. Let me know. I plan to do some Rebirth reading. I'm going to read, obviously, issue 1, the Rebirth special. I'm going to read The Button because I'm really excited about that.
Oh,
I want to read. Yeah. I want to read some of Tom King's Batman because I'm excited about that. But there are probably a lot of books from this era that I didn't buy. So I need you guys to help me and guide me through the books that I absolutely should pick up and read from the Rebirth era so I can do a better job of presenting this deep dive to you.
Matt Fisher right here says, please deep dive New 52 Green Arrow. I recommend that Green Arrow run. That's some good shit.
New 52? We already did that.
Oh, New 52. Sorry, I meant, well, I don't know why he's talking about New 52. I thought he was talking about Rebirth Green Arrow. But I recommend Rebirth Green Arrow.
The Rick Grayson
Oof.
segment of this video is going to be great.
Oof.
And then wasn't Ben Percy on Teen Titans and like abruptly dipped like, nah, y'all are good. I'm good with that with you.
Yep.
All right, this sounds salacious and fun. Like, I'm locked in.
Hell yeah, me too.
Be there.
I am very locked in. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Next Saturday, 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Can't wait. Ways of the Sith says, yo, fellas, might have missed it, but don't you guys have any hesitation supporting DC with its new right-wing owners? So, Ways of the Sith is referring to the fact that it appears as though Paramount will end up being the new home of the entertainment end of HBO, and DC would go along with that, of course. If thing, maybe not, I guess, but
no, it's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really know that I have a lot to say because nothing has happened yet. Like, I don't want to see Superman become Homelander, obviously, and I have no doubt that they're going to fuck with the material because Paramount doesn't seem to care. But that's all in the waiting. That's all in the waiting.
Yeah. This is more like it's going to go to courts because this is a big merger. But thankfully that we have a political system that works. So I think this won't happen.
You think they're gonna?
No, it's gonna fucking happen. Of course, it's gonna happen.
I was gonna say
it's gonna have pushback from the everyman, I think, but it's gonna go fine through the top.
But who cares?
It's gonna get fast tracked.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. I think if you're
take a year, this will take 4 months.
Yeah. Can't wait for Bari Weiss controlled CNN now. Jesus Christ.
And when do I become concerned with the new owners? Is it now? Is it once the ink is dried? Is it 3 days after they've enacted their plan? Like when does the concern actually fall down the line?
Once you see Superman preemptively striking Iran, then you should probably worry.
Oh no.
We're all minorities in America. Like the idea that now we should be afraid of crazy people running the world is wild. Like, I get it. Like, keep your whatever out of my comics, I guess. But like, this ain't nothing new. I still got to go buy groceries today. You know where I'm going? Target.
Yeah.
Food down.
I pay taxes. You know who gets to spend my tax dollars?
The Department of Defense.
No, I almost named a country. I think if you're a movie DC universe movie fan, you have something to worry about. Definitely. James Gunn probably has something to worry about with this. I don't know if this goes to the comics anytime soon or ever. The comics, honestly, I would sooner see them sell off the comics.
Dude, I don't even think it's gonna hit the movies.
Dude, it's hitting the movies. It's fucking Paramount. Their thing is movies. The whole bit of this thing is movies.
But there's stuff that's already written, stuff that's already in production. That I don't think, but I don't think that they say, okay, now James Gunn pause because we have to work out the deal in the next year. Over the next year, you have to stop making movies.
James Gunn is a out and about lib. As soon as he ruffles the feathers, he's out.
They will Batgirl everything in production.
Yep. They'll make sure Batman 2 comes out because that's at least far enough in the pipeline. But yeah, just when you guys got something good, you might not have it anymore. So
I don't know really where to go with it. Like, we don't know anything. And Gavin Guidry is with us right now, of course, the artist of the impending Flash series, which we need to get you on here to talk about, bro. He said, does anybody remember Ike Perlmutter? And yes, Ike Perlmutter was in charge of Marvel for almost the entire rise of Marvel.
Yeah.
But we do have to acknowledge that Ike Perlmutter definitely impacted Marvel's publication and films. And he's probably not probably, he's definitely not as powerful as the Ellisons are. Like, how much control he has is a lot more, than Ike Perlmutter had.
Yep.
Way more.
And if not for Ike Perlmutter, being kind of forced out, we don't get Black Panther. We certainly don't get Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Literally.
So,
BJ's not being hyperbolic. That's literally true.
Yep.
So I do get like the sort of doomsayers, like I make light of the situation because we're talking about movies and entertainment as opposed to like, I don't know, soldiers invading your backyard. But there is cause for concern if that's your concern.
Yeah, I agree. Your concern should be maybe a little more global and a more on the important stuff, but we are in a consumerism world, and I know the treats are really nice, and your comic books are treats, and that's what matters. And I'm not being sarcastic here. That matters to people. So I can see the nervousness being there, but also like for me, it's like, oh, cool, we have a whole bunch of rich people in the pocket of some major news corporations that are now becoming state propaganda, and like that's my issue with it. I'm not really thinking about, oh no, is Batwoman going to be canceled?
I think your comics are probably fine for the immediate couple years, and no boycott. I don't think there's any reason to boycott DC Comics. That's a little.
There could be down the line. Who knows?
Today, I mean, I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, right now, no. But if we get Ben Shapiro written Batman, then now I'm fucking out.
So, man,
give him 5 years.
We don't got no black people on the wall. We're gonna boycott Sal's, okay?
We've got a quick edition of everybody's favorite segment, Jim Lee Watch. Jim Lee, the artist behind, I mean, he's a legendary artist, he needs no introduction. Currently, the artist behind Hush 2, a book that is massively, massively delayed. We cannot expect the next issue of Hush until I think they're currently saying May, I believe.
Yeah, I'll believe when I see it.
Yeah. But Jim Lee is staying busy. He's not the kind of guy who's going to sit around and take a break or anything like that. So I would like to read from you an excerpt from the Instagram page of Mr. Jim Lee. As many of you have seen, Batman number 163 has moved to the end of May. Personal circumstances have slowed the pace on Hush 2, to put it mildly. Thank you for your patience and support. In the meantime, here's a new piece from my 9-page Superman Spider-Man story, written by Tom King. Hopefully this brings a smile to many of you nostalgia lovers. And he shares a picture of a comic he drew for an entirely different fucking character that's owned by a very different company. It's an image of Gambit. Why is Jim Lee posting an image of Gambit in the same post? He's telling you about Batman being delayed because of personal reasons.
Dude, hell yeah. This guy knows how to share information, share updates.
Sorry we didn't have your steak in stock. Here's some ice cream.
It was like,
that's the part.
Go ahead.
I just perfected this new ice cream recipe. I've been working on it for quite some time.
I've been wanting to make ice cream for a while. I know this is a steakhouse, but I'm really interested in making ice cream. And I think you'd like it.
It's a anyway, here's Wonderwall moment. Like, that's what I had in my mind. Like, what the fuck? That was such a crazy pivot. Like,
here's the thing though. He was right. I kind of like this.
It's fire.
Again,
Ghibli is amazing.
Again, the Gambit propaganda is working on me for the past, like, anything that From the Ashes has done is made me like Gambit.
Propagambit?
Propagambit, yeah.
By the way, for anybody who doesn't know, this segment is a joke. We love Jim Lee. It's just funny, and it's not going to stop until Batman 163 comes out. Not that I want it. I'm not, like, looking forward to it. I don't want it, but
but when it drops, we'll be
That man
there.
is such a troll.
I think he's
Y'all
trolling,
remember-
honestly. Yeah.
Y'all remember him using the cruise ship window as a light box?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
yeah,
Meanwhile,
show's gotta go.
we talk about that and I start talking about workers' rights. He fucking got my ass, you know?
Oh man,
Dude, when we complained about Spider-Man's fingers being a little glitchy, he posted an updated version with his fingers more fucked up.
on both hands.
Yeah.
You know what? I like the cut of his jib. Right on. Jim Lee, if you want to talk about this and rage bait people on our show, we are open to it.
Honestly, man, it's
And if you do, feel free to draw while you're talking to us.
Is
does he
there
still
a
do that
way?
on Twitch? I'm assuming he doesn't. That probably cut.
I don't think he's still listening anymore. Yeah.
Is there a way?
Times during the pandemic. Go ahead, Sean.
Whoa, what?
Can we turn Jim Lee Watch? Can we parlay this into getting him here with us on the program?
From Jim Lee Watch to watch Jim Lee.
Live.
Okay.
I think we
Okay.
need like
Jim Lee.
2 million more subscribers. To make that happen.
Yeah.
No, we just need a good clip.
Does he have any like kids we can befriend?
What?
See,
No, okay, that sounded weird. That sounded. Hold on.
Between
Not
you
the
and
clip
BJ,
we're looking for. Not the clip we're looking for.
I meant like if his kids liked our show, maybe like that sort of situation. Kids we could befriend gave me real unmarked van vibes, and I didn't mean that.
I think Jim Lee's kids are adults now.
I think so too, and I think that was why I was saying it, but it just came out bad.
his daughter just got married.
Yeah, they can hang and watch
I
YouTube.
feel like you're taking this Jim Lee watch a little too seriously, Sean. It's kind of.
It's on his Instagram. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah,
He's watching hard. He's like, all right, I need to see the peripherals too.
Yo, JC says my parlay. Yo, get him on the show, bro. Get him on the show and you'll get a payout.
Make it happen. Come on, brothers. Come on, pals.
Kalshi.
Yeah, are we on Kalshi now? Jeez.
We should be.
But it is still February, and we are still celebrating this month. And the way we are ending our celebration of this month is by sharing our number one Black superheroes. What do you guys think I was going to say? What are these faces? You look like
I was waiting for my
death.
I was waiting for my chance to be like number one, but
I just knew you were going to bring a Noah's Ark joke in here somewhere. So that's
Noah's Ark. I never even think about that.
Huh.
How do you fit the
I just
dinosaurs
wanted-
on there?
They did. That's why they're not around.
I just
They
wanted to talk about Black heroes,
Yeah.
guys. That's all I was trying to do.
all right.
Number one Black hero of all time, Mr. BJ Kicks. Comics are
Okay.
dope.
It's Black Panther for me. Black Panther is the quintessential Black hero. I think, you can argue Black versus African American and like what, whatever, but the idea of this aspirational figure, he's the ruler of a country, a sovereign country, who, is really just trying to do the right thing by his people and by the world in all kinds of crazy circumstances. That this man has fought apartheid, he's fought aliens, like he's wielded the Infinity Gauntlet. Like it doesn't get, and he's smart. It's not the Black dude that comes in to just punch the situation. He's a tactician. And he's also super powerful, but like he holds the title with grace. Like it's Black Panther. For y'all have all done 5, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me go through top 5. Number 5, I'll put Miles Morales at number 5. Miles Morales is great. He's fun, but his stories largely feel derivative, but his personality is just so great. And he's got staying power. He's on my shirt right now. Also, by the way, shout out to Miles Morales, but also shout out to my man Onyx. Onyx is a kid that I'm friends with who is dealing with brain cancer at the moment. So shout out to Marvel, who commissioned an artist, Michael Shelfer, Michael Shelfer drew this original art for my man Onyx, and my homie David turned this into a shirt. But shout out to Marvel for like really investing in this kid's life. That's dope. Miles Morales is such an inspiration, and that's why he makes my list, despite a lot of people's feelings. Generally, like some of this, to a degree, they have a point. It's like Peter's Spider-Man, whatever. So Miles is 5. 4 is John Stewart. John Stewart, Green Lantern, for a lot of the same reasons as T'Challa, actually. But those moments where like his leadership shows, when I started reading comics, he was leading the Justice League. Like he's got the command, he's got the gravitas, and he also is somebody who just wants to do the right thing with the mantle he's been given. So he's dope. Number 3. Number 3's got to be Storm. Storm is quite powerful, very graceful. Read the Ayodele run if you really want to like understand like what all is great about Storm. It's a great celebration in those 12 issues so far. And then number 2, my number 2 is Static. Without Static, you get no Miles Morales. Static is easily the most fun Black superhero in comics. And like I said about most of everybody else on the list, Virgil Hawkins is a smart kid who, yes, has been given incredible power and wants to use it responsibly. But the magic of Virgil Hawkins is his character. Like, and if you want to understand why, read the first 4 issues of the OG Static series from 1993. Actually,
do you have the original issues?
I do have the original issues.
Oh, okay.
But also they just collected it in the DC Finest.
Nice.
Maybe that's
So
what we
DC
read for
Finest.
the. What's that? That's first 12. You said
First 15 issues. So this has Static 1 through 15, and then Static's appearances in the Worlds Collide crossover where Milestone and the Superman office did a little mix-up, little collab there. I wouldn't put the Worlds Collide stuff in your book club because that's a whole separate book club. But those first 3 or 4 story arcs for Static are amazing. And what also put Static up there at the top for me is the types of stories they were telling here. Like in this book, you get the first 4 issues is him getting his powers, trying to understand like what to do with them. But even the day he gets his powers, he's only there because he's trying to decide if he's about to go, be a school shooter or, a gangbanger or whatever. And ultimately chooses to do the right thing. And his reward is superpowers. And then right immediately after that, he gets these superpowers and he's tempted with like, oh, should I team up with this big villain and go get whatever I want? And again, he's like, I'm going to make the decision to do the right thing. So Virgil is always like, all right, I'm not going to be the most scrappy or, the most powered up person in the room, but I'm going to use my brain and I'm going to do the right thing. And the stories in here are super hard hitting. There's that first, what issues like 5 through 7 is talking about like Black and Jewish relations, anti-Black racism versus anti-Semitism and the merits of either, or why, not the merits, but the reason both are bad, but it handles it in such an interesting way. There's a lot to love about OG Static. So you guys are in for a treat when it's time for that book club.
I thought there wasn't politics in comics back then when they were just superhero stories.
It was absolutely politics, bro.
I'll go. Oh, you're muted, Sean.
Sorry. Samuel Summers with a 5 spot says, so how much for the Static Hardware book club? At least the first arc, which is like 5 issues. BJ should definitely be there. I'll pay extra for that. I think you said the Static book club was with 15 issues we had discussed.
Yeah. So that trade BJ.
We have that one already.
Plus the 5 from the hardware. So that's 20. So we've been doing 100 comics bucks for 25. So we could do what, 90?
Well, we already paid for the Static one, so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So the extra issues.
I mean, if it's 5 issues, we could probably just
do it.
Yeah,
just tack it on.
It's already within the.
Okay. Yeah, Sam's a good dude. He's sponsored a couple of book clubs.
He's good for it.
And I gotta say, I know nothing about hardware. Reading about hardware in the New History Dakota incident, I'm interested in hardware for sure.
OG hardware is it's dope,
Yeah.
but it's heavy.
Yeah.
The new history of the DC Universe, the Dakota incident, it's free on the app too. So anybody who has DC Infinite and you can buy it, you can go ahead and read it there too.
Damn, sabotage.
It sold out. That did feel like sabotage. It sold out at distribution. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a second printing. But go to your local comic shop, ask them for it, tell them to reorder it for you. And if you did miss out, there was a 5th cover. There's a foil cover featuring Rocket that got pushed back a week. So there's a chance you go to the comic shop this Wednesday, and some of those are on stands, even when the other covers are.
It was even on Comixology's bestseller of the week, outdoing Absolute Wonder Woman.
Nice.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler, go ahead with your number 1.
Storm. And I think it's just because he was like the first Black hero I ever saw was Storm. You know, I was really like, I grew up on those X-Men cartoons. I grew up on X-Men comics. I'm an X-Men guy through and through. And Storm is such an integral part to those characters. And just what she does, like she was like the one that always felt in the X-Men comics, you always have like a hierarchy. There's always Magneto and Charles Xavier, kind of like the ones dictating everything. Storm always felt above that to me. Above that, or at least the secret third there, where everyone respected her. She was probably the most powerful, especially when you get to like that giant size team, you know. Yeah, and then just the fact that, you know, like growing up, I can still hear, man, who's the voice actress for Storm in the animated series?
Was it Allison Seeley Smith?
I just Googled Storm VA, and apparently Virginia is getting some Storm sometime soon. So, yeah, Allison Seeley Smith. Yeah, like that. Just there's few characters that have a voice when I read comics. Storm is one of them.
For me, it's also gonna be Storm. The Claremont run solidified so much of her history, of her power set, the growth of, you know, going through a power loss. That was one of my favorite arcs, the Mohawk. And for me also, I have the arc Love Death, where, you know, it's a romance between her and Forge across, or sorry, Life Death. That issue's incredible, and that whole arc is like one of my favorite runs in comics, and she's at the forefront of that. So really, really fun.
Gavin Gindry is wondering why Tyler doesn't hear the voice of Halle Berry when he reads Storm comics.
I hear Halle Berry's voice when I read Catwoman comics. Sorry.
Duke isn't being forgotten. Duke is just not top 5. Does Duke even have 5 issues to his name?
Good question.
And he just got baldified too.
My number 1 is Black Panther. T'Challa is the man. I will never be able to forget what it was like going to the movies to watch a black superhero film, seeing the crowd so black the fuck out, and everybody happy, like just smiling, laughing, like people dressed up. It looked like it was an event, and I looked bummy, but everybody else was so proud to represent like black culture and like sharing that moment. And there were stories of teachers busing their kids, like paying for tickets, busing their kids to go see this movie because they felt it was that important. When has there ever been a black moment like that in entertainment for us? It was so special, was so significant on the biggest stage. And all of that is based on the strength of that character. It's based on the strength of a character whose responsibility in comics has largely been the representation of blackness, the representation of what a black hero can be. And what I love so much about Black Panther, as Chadwick Boseman said when he played the character, I never freeze. Black Panther doesn't freeze. Black Panther is the character who's going to be at the front line, whether it's as a king, being the king of his people, whether it's as a warrior and a general, front of the line, fighting that battle from Earth to space. There's nothing that can stop the Black Panther. And that feels like such a powerful message to me that I'm glad we can still get. Now, the comics treat the character poorly right now, but nothing can ever undo that movie and what that character means to me and millions of black boys and girls all over the world.
Yeah, the movie was my entry point as well. Like, I knew Black Panther existed, but that movie, it's hard to explain. Like, I try to give it voice in one of my recent videos, but it's hard to explain like what representation does to a person. Like, because my favorite character in fiction is Batman. I never needed Batman to be black to like enjoy Batman, but like seeing Black Panther on screen is just like, yo, that's different. It is so different. And yeah, the even just the cinematography, the world, like the way they made that stealth freeze art like come alive on screen, like the technology, the spaceships, like all of it is so well done that it just bumps you up the list. And then the more I read of him in comics, the more I enjoy him. So yeah, he's up there.
Oh yeah. He's the man. And you know who else is the man? Samuel Summers, who just dropped a $50 super chat bomb on us. Thank you so much. He says, here's 50 just cuz. Also, Spawn got me into comics, so he's my number one. I had Spawn on my list too. I'm glad you did. Spawn is the man. Definitely underappreciated as a black superhero. But Samuel, thank you so much. You are incredibly generous to us, brother. Really appreciate it.
Yo, he just sponsored Spawn first
No,
15
whoa,
issues.
whoa. What's that Michael Jordan gif?
I would love that. I love Spawn.
I can't wait for the Jamie Foxx movie.
We'll see.
By the time that movie comes out, he might look like Spawn.
Did he have like health problems recently?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Oh.
Nah, he had a stroke.
Yeah, okay.
He had a stroke. But he's doing fine.
See, that's good.
We got a super chat from Liviusian Nice Guy, 10 spot. Ideal number of books Marvel publishes a month?
Less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way I could say it.
Considerably.
I mean, they probably publish like somewhere in the neighborhood of what, 60 a month, 80 a month, somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't know. I feel like it's too much, but I don't know what the secret number is. Like, and then you're also saying like the people working on all those books will then no longer have those jobs, right? So like, I'm not into that either. I just think make the books better. I don't think that less is more, but like Marvel probably isn't publishing more books than they were in the 2000s or the 10s. They were publishing a lot of great books then.
Fair.
I don't know if they need books like 1776 out. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's some stuff you can cut. Like JMS could be doing a mainline book.
But maybe he wants to do that.
That's true. Yeah.
Matt Fisher, my boy, with a 5 spot. Hey, Sean, how's X-Men Spiral doing? Okay, so the character from the X-Men universe named Spiral is amazing. She is so bad. I love Spiral. Those 6 arms, like, yo, what can they do? Plus...
Damn.
So if that's what you were talking about, I have great opinions. If you were talking about that fucking Death Spiral mess that we just got,
that one,
I have nothing but negative things to say about it. So I will say nothing about it.
What's funny, because I read that and I didn't even think about Death Spiral. Like, we just read it.
Unfortunately, I can't stop thinking about that shit to your book.
He's in a death spiral.
I was reading it. Trust me. That's not a game. We should spin the wheel. We haven't done that yet today.
Yeah.
Let's spin the wheel.
Is it going to be water? Is it going to be water? What do we got?
I need a thorough drink. I'm thirsty.
Did we shout out Big Busta's Comics Pals gift their membership here?
We did now. Thank you,
Blue
Big Busta.
Spaceman. Congrats. Thank you so much, Big Busta.
Have a drink too.
Oh,
hell
hey.
yeah. Sip.
Get that
Sip
sip.
what you're sipping on.
I got more coffee.
See, I start with coffee and then I move into a black tea to maintain my caffeine levels elevated, but not at such a high level.
You do that every month?
Every almost every morning.
Oh, okay. It wasn't just like a February thing. You did the black tea. Got it. Cool. He usually has white teas.
BJ, how you feeling over there?
I'm good, man. I caught that coming. I saw that on its way. It was just hilarious that Marco didn't.
Marco doesn't see it coming sometimes.
Saw that one coming down I-95, doing 80,
right?
Doing 90.
Should I give another spin, Sean?
Let's go. Yes, spin that wheel again. It's Saturday morning. We're feeling fresh and fine. Come on, talk to me, chat.
Okay.
What's going on?
It's more water. We're gonna piss ourselves if we keep doing
Ooh.
That sounds. Never mind.
Whoa! Oh, hold on. Okay, you guys don't. I guess you have to drink because I spun on it, right? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a must drink. It's a promise.
To whoever's question about whether or not Luke Cage is a bigger deal in the comics, like a bigger deal as opposed to what? I would say he's not. He's had his moments. Like Sean loves New Avengers because Luke Cage is front and center during the Bendis era of Marvel. But since then,
100%.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I mean, he was a part of the Defenders that Bendis did, that Defenders revival, which was just a Netflix copy and paste. But again, that's Bendis. Bendis likes and cares about Luke Cage. He was the only reason that character rose to prominence.
He's only New York City's mayor right now.
Yeah.
Is he even Luke Cage at this point? I don't know.
It is insane to me.
Big fumble.
Cage is mayor of New York City, and that's not being explored in any book. The best we got was the Luke Cage Gang War miniseries tie-in, in which, all right, not to spoil everything in the world, but basically vigilantes are outlawed.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke Cage decides to be a vigilante as the mayor in a terrible, terrible suit upgrade.
Oh, that's with the metal on it, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
He was looking like what is it? One of the Wrecking Crew guys.
Yeah, he was the Black Knight.
Downgrade. Suit
Luke,
downgrade.
Luke Cage, Black Knight. And yeah, that's what we got.
The Martin Lawrence movie?
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh my God. Wow, bro. What a reference. What a deep cut. I've seen that.
Where's he been?
Yo,
Martin
my man is
also
looking
had
good.
health issues, allegedly.
Really?
He's looking good. He was a little bugged out for a minute there. He was having some problems, but he got on that Ozempic, man. He's looking fresh and fit. I'm happy for him.
Don't say fresh and fit. I don't like
those.
He's definitely got a bit of that Ozempic face, though.
Yeah.
Oh, like the bobblehead?
He's got the John Romita Jr. head right now.
BJ, you mean to tell me you don't feel like doing this every Saturday morning?
I was gonna say,
my wife would kill me. I'd be in divorce court doing this every Saturday.
Comics Bucks can pay for divorce court, by the way.
Damn.
I'm not. I'd much rather have my marriage.
Proven false, by the way.
Well, we weren't locked in like we're locked in right now. Back then, Ty, come on now.
That's fair. That's fair.
We're not releasing funds for that.
And Kel left before.
Yeah, that's right.
It got bad, So I'm just saying, BJ is onto something with this based on the track record.
All right, I guess part of keeping your marriage together is not waking up in the morning to do this show.
On a Saturday.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Not every Saturday.
About once every fucking fortnight. What's a fortnight?
It's a video game that was actually like
I believe a fortnight is 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks or is it 2 months?
14 days.
All right. So once every fucking, I don't know, once every way too long in between. Jay Sage, sorry?
A blue moon, once in a blue moon. I don't know whatever that means.
I love to drink Blue Moon.
You do.
It's my favorite beer. What's your favorite beer, BJ?
I have none. I've tried beer like twice. I think the first time I tried one was a Corona, and that was disgusting. I want to say I have also tried a Blue Moon. It was also disgusting.
Do you drink?
No.
Okay.
Every now and then we'll pull out a bottle of Stella Rosa for like a special occasion, and I feel like that doesn't count. That's like sparkling juice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say next time you're in New York, I can try and show you some beer you might like, but if you don't drink at all, then there's no point.
Yeah.
Would you share one with me, BJ?
No,
you
it's
crack a
weird. Why
cold?
would I drink after you? Like,
Not
already
not the same
Sean's
drink.
like, have my backwash.
What kind of person do you think I am, BJ? I'm saying, would you pop a cold one with me and drink that brewski, Stone Cold
Probably
style?
not. My grandfather was like a heavy drinker, and
Mine
his drink
too.
of choice was Heineken,
Mm.
and it did not bode well for him or the family. So drinking just isn't really like my deal.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was very cautious about it because of genetics growing up too. I didn't drink till I was 21.
I'd like to point out that BJ claims to be my friend, but he won't curse for me and he won't drink with me.
We could pop some NA beers, a little athletic.
Oh yeah.
I could just order a root beer.
That's true.
Little duels.
I don't
No,
understand
no
why
duel.
people drink. Excuse me. I understand why some people drink.
Yeah,
Some
depression.
people just drunk. Some people like the taste. For me, it's disgusting, and I can't drink anything that doesn't taste good.
Not
Like,
even wine.
wine, like I said, some wines are okay. I'm not a dry wine type of guy. Like, I'd rather have a sweet wine, but I'm also not about to like spend a bunch of money to figure out which one is the good one. You know,
I'll give you a good one. I'll give you some good ones.
Are you going to
that
take
doesn't
the
mean we're
time?
not friends because I won't participate in your degeneracy, Sean.
We can get some like non-alcoholic THC beers.
BJ won't do that either.
Yeah, probably not.
It's true, I won't.
Yeah.
Why do I have to
probably
be impaired for us to be friends? This feels like a
Sean's just trying to
weird
get you to say fuck.
one-sided friendship. Like,
It's you know how one-sided it is? I adore you, BJ. And all I do is talk about how much I love you and what a great guy you are and how much I like listening to your voice. And then you get on here and you disparage me constantly
all I'm
in
saying
front
is
of my audience. You come into my home and you disrespect me in my home.
your alleged home. It's a green screen. For all I know, you could be outside on a porch.
He's a porch person.
Stoop kid's afraid to leave his stoop.
BJ,
But
you better be careful who you talk about porches with in February, bro. What you trying to call me?
hey, yo,
Marco doesn't know about that. Don't
that's
corrupt him.
crazy.
I don't.
That is crazy. But all I'm saying, Sean, is I want you to be at your best. I don't understand why you want me impaired for us to be friends. I don't get that.
I'm at my best all the time. Come on now.
Sure.
I'm always ready.
And a little liquid courage never hurts anyone.
Yeah.
I got plenty of non-liquid courage.
I don't. So good for you.
Well,
Who put this poll up?
Not me.
Huh?
clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poll boy himself over here.
All right. Hey, Daredevil #1 is coming out in April 1st, in fact, but you'd be a fool not to pick it up. This is the highest selling Daredevil comic of all time. All time. That's very incredible. Hats off to Stephanie Phillips, of course, Lee Garbett, and the entire creative team deserve praise and credit for that fact. Stephanie was with us last week. We had an incredible conversation with her. Make sure you listen to that if you haven't. You've probably seen us in the news this week because of it. But there is something that I want to talk about, and it's going to be uncomfy. And none of this has to do with the creative team. This is not a commentary on the creative team. And I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. I gave credit just now to Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett. Do you actually believe that they are the reason for this?
I think they are a good reason for this. That if without blind bags, I think this book would still do well. Would it do best-selling Daredevil book of all time? I don't think so. I think blind bags is the key here.
What's the bar for a best-selling Daredevil book? My understanding of Daredevil, right. Yeah. My understanding is that it's always a good book.
Yeah.
It's got a very strong, all the writers of Daredevil like love and support each other, as evidenced in the promo for this Daredevil issue. Like people love to say Daredevil's all consistently great and well written. I don't know. I feel like that chain might have broken, but you know,
yeah.
Yes.
but you know, in the TikTok era, like, what does it mean to have the best-selling book of anything, especially when it's boosted by blind bags? I don't know.
Go ahead, Marco.
I was just gonna double down on, this is a blind bag effect. Not to disparage the creative team, because it is a good creative team. But yeah, this is purely a function of the tools at which Marvel can leverage something. They are relaunching. They are testing. They're continuing to test this tool, the blind bag, out, and so therefore, if I think to answer your question, what does it mean in the age of blind bags? Presumably the next blind bag they do is going to be the bigger one, right? And the one after that and the one after that until it's not. And I think at that point we can start to see whether it is the level of creative team, or the boost from the blind bag.
Do we have a number on the orders for these?
Oh, we did.
So, no, not officially, I don't think. But
Because like DC was like, hey, Absolute Batman got 300,000 orders or whatever it was. Like, I don't know. I feel like to say it's the best-selling Daredevil book of all time is one of those weird like LeBron stat qualifiers. You know?
well, here's what Rich Johnson of Bleeding Cool says about it. Even in the glory days of the newsstand, Daredevil would sell around 150 to 200,000 copies, and this is higher. I also understand that Marvel Comics conducted rigorous testing to ensure the blind bags don't suffer any kind of damage. So if he's saying that this sold more than 200,000 copies, which he claims he heard from roundtable discussions with retailers at Comics Pro, that is a massive number for Daredevil. That will let me put this into perspective. Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett will, I hope they do. I hope that for their careers they do, but they'll probably never sell that many comics again, right? That's a crazy ass number. We've only ever really seen in this era Absolute Batman do that. Certain titles doing that. I kind of feel like if I'm her or if I'm on that creative team, I feel swallowed up. Like, how do I personally feel like I can take credit when the marketing machine is only about the blind bag? Stephanie came on here and talked about how, the story's going to be great. Lee Garbett's art's fantastic. She did her job. But Marvel's side is only talking about blind bags.
That's the driving force for them.
I mean,
and
I pre-ordered 4, so
yeah, I mean, I'm planning for some of those, for the chance at getting something else. I'm gonna be buying quite a bit more. I forgot what I got 4, I think, for Endgame, so I'll probably get something similar, but for the possibility of getting something cool out of it.
And I think this also lends credence to the whole like Marvel only cares about popping a number. Number 2 won't have a blind bag. I don't even know how does a shop order for number 2?
Right. And I think that's an excellent point, Tyler. Like, if you're a retailer and you bought X amount, let's say you bought 30 Daredevil ones.
Sure.
And half of those are blind bags. Whatever. It's just, what do you do on number 2? You don't know how well your number 1 sold. It probably sold great, but there's blind bags. What is the retailer confidence level in their ability to sell issue 2 and 3 when issue 1 isn't even on stands and they have to make their orders for 2 and 3 based off of blind bag sales that will not be there again for that series?
Yeah, do you base it off of Stephanie Phillips' other books? Probably not. Do you base it off the last run of Daredevil? No, definitely not that. They're going in blind.
Haha.
Huh? Thanks, guys.
I bought the Daniel Warren Johnson cover
Oof.
and one blind bag. So, I mean, I did inflate my number by one.
You doubled it, though.
Most people,
You doubled it.
Exactly. But I'm saying, I'm sure most people, I mean, y'all talking about 4 or 5 blind bags. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I don't know. I don't work at my LCS. I just kind of like hang out there a lot and watch them do orders. And it's a really interesting system. And a lot of times it's like based on which covers they look cool and based on how many people are subscribed already and so on. So I'm curious to see, like, I know for me, we order through Comic Hub. So I can order the A cover and subscribe to it. But if I want any other cover, I got to special order that one. So I'm curious to see like how many of those numbers are I ordered 8 blind bags versus I subscribe to the series.
Well, but that drop off is going to be intense. You can't make an accurate estimation, right? Like I think you are going to have to look at something like in the aggregate percentage, look at the drop off from Ultimate Endgame 1 to 2 to get your best guess, right? Because that had a blind bag. If you saw you ordered, X amount and only a certain number of people bought that, that's what you kind of correct for because you expect the blind bag to drive that up. That's probably your best guess. And who knows what that looks like? A quarter, a third?
I mean,
that would suck.
To put a positive spin on it, it's probably going to have more than if they didn't do it. Like number 2 is going to have more people buying it than if they didn't do the blind bag.
That's the positive, and that, look, you could make the argument, and I think it's a fair one, that this tees up the book for success. That Marvel is essentially saying, hey, we've done everything we can to make your first issue get into as many hands as possible. Now let the work speak for itself going forward.
Yep.
I want to give Marvel that grace. I just wish that they were doing something to talk about the book. The content, the material.
Even Stephanie Phillips was like, "Oh, Marvel's going to alluded to Marvel announcing something for this book right before it comes out," which is probably like crazy people on sketch covers, like maybe a Miller or Charlie Cox, So even then, that's still more hype about the blind bag, which is a one and done, really, purchase for some people.
Exactly. This will put the Daredevil fandom to the test. How many people really care about this book? I hope a lot of people do, because I think it's going to be great, but it remains to be seen.
Yeah, just for reference, because I was curious, and I'm referencing here Prana DM and the sales charts that they share. They don't have volumes. They only have where they're positioned in terms of all 400 comics that they look at and consider. So issue 1 of Ultimate Endgame was, number 1, number 2. But here, issue 2, according to them, it falls down to 54.
Huge jump.
So,
huge drop.
Way.
Yeah.
Huge drop.
No way. There's no way that Ultimate Endgame number 2 was 54th.
Right under Mark Spector Moon Knight.
That kind of makes sense though. Like, given the sentiments about the Ultimate Universe and how it has kind of meandered, if you're dropping down just to sort of your regular subscriber numbers outside of the blind bag, it's the end of the Ultimate Universe.
But guys, a 54th best-selling book means it's selling worse than like some very low-selling titles. I can't. That would mean that stores ordered a tremendously low amount of Endgame relative to like Nightwing or anything else. Poison Ivy. Like, there's so many books that sell better than 54th. Marco, can you double check that?
Yeah, I'm looking at her. I'm double checking right now. And to be fair, I did pick from the following week that it released. It would have released on the 4th.
So there's no real leeway for it, no track for it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at data from February 9th because they release this on a weekly basis. Which is
either way, like it didn't just while Marco's crunching some numbers here, 3.144 repeating, of course. Didn't Stephanie mention like how Daredevil made more than double the sales of Grimm? Did I remember her mentioning something like that?
She did. Yeah, she said that this was the highest number that she's ever seen. That that they sold more numbers than they have for any of the other books that she had.
Because Grimm number 1 sold over 100,000 copies. So this does track with that. Okay, the computing is done.
Yeah. Let me. So sorry. So okay, the week that it came out, the week of February 2nd, for which Prana has data for, it's at number 5. Ultimate Endgame number 2 is at number 5.
Yeah.
And it falls to 30 and then falls to 54.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah,
there would be no possible way in the world. We do owe some congratulations, though, to the team behind Exquisite Corpses, who announced at Comics Pro that the hit series is getting a second season and some spin-off books. So Tiny Onion is going Exquisite Corpses crazy. According to James Tynion, this is an incredible success. 600,000 copies of this series have been sold to this point. Issue 10 at final order cutoff was 56K copies ordered by stores. Wow. That's an incredible level of success. May will see the 13th issue released, which will be the final issue of the first season, but there is the promise of more to come. They talked about a 5-year publishing plan in the Exquisite Corpses space. We know we're getting the Rascal Randy spin-off book in July. That's going to be coming from Tyler Boss with art by Dylan Burnett.
Dylan Burnett's
Jordi
good.
Belair.
Yeah.
On the colors, Becky Carey as a part of the creative team as well. Then we're also going to get Fox Mask Killer, Lone Gunman, Book of the Dead, and then eventually, inevitably, season 2.
I think this is smart. Yeah, this is fun. It allows those creators that aren't Tynion to be on the books. Frees Tynion up to do whatever he wants to do. But also it puts the spotlight on some of these writers. Isn't Che Grayson writing one of them? Did I read that?
I don't know that they've all had their creative teams. Well, so Fox Mask Killer is Che Grayson and Adam Gorham.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Lone Gunman is Pornsack and Alberto Ponticelli.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they are getting those opportunities, those chances. I mean, this is incredible for Tiny Onion. It feels like Tynion has formed his own kind of like ghost machine, like the publisher of the writer of the creator is something that we've seen grow in 2025 and now it's going to explode in 2026. Giant Generator, Ghost Machines previously mentioned, like this as being the creative vehicles for I would almost say editorial line for each of these writers. It's an awesome evolution of the market.
I'm happy about this. I think Exquisite Corpses is really cool. Watching this blow up, this franchise, it's got a board game coming. This is something. This is something. And I feel like we haven't seen something in comics in a little while. 600,000 issues across 600,000 issues sold across 9 issues released is insane. That's really, really great numbers. So congrats to them.
BJ, have you checked any of Exquisite Corpses out?
It's got corpses in the title. That was good.
Oh.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be your thing.
Okay. Yeah. It's a little egregious there. The other thought I had just on this was I feel like the creator studios, I feel like there's a start here. We can kind of trace a line back to Scott Tober, the Comixology sort of era.
Okay.
Well, it just in the like the idea, right, of getting a high profile creator and then building a publishing line around that creator and some of the books that they put out.
You mean the original Image Comics?
Yeah, defunct Comixology and their Scott Tober initiative. But it was one of the first ideas, I feel like, for that specifically.
Yeah, but shout out to James Tynion for innovating even in the way he rolls out his comics. He's got like different books with different publishers. So like things play to different people's strengths. It really does feel more like production company than like imprint. And I feel like so many comic creators come out with a book under an imprint and it doesn't really feel like the imprint means anything.
That point that you just made is necessary to add to the conversation, because Tiny Onion is not a publisher. Tiny Onion is not even necessarily an imprint in the way we traditionally think about it. They are a production company.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. It's James Tynion's production arm. And that gives him the freedom and the flexibility to look at these numbers and go, okay, we're going to go full steam ahead with this. And we're not just going to keep it to comics. We're going to do all kinds of things. And I'm going to own it. Listen to the Tynion interview that he did with David Harper. Excellent conversation. You want to talk about who the modern creator is to look at in the indie space? It's James Tynion with a bullet, no doubt.
Yep. And it also lends a lot more ease of access for adaptations.
Yeah. Agreed.
Adaptations where the creators actually make money off of it.
Big money. There's big money in putting out DC comics right now. And DC is promising big time storytelling, epic books in their next level lineup. We know for a fact, because they have been not shy at all about telling us that this is creator forward. Creators being asked to pitch on books they want to work on, their chosen characters. And wouldn't you know it? Not one of them, not one single one of them, wanted to tell a story that involves a Black character prominently featured in the title on the cover. Not one.
Oh, dude. Oh, DC's canceled. Fuck. Oh.
They're preempting
the year.
Yeah, they're preempting this Ellison buyout.
Yeah, I ran across a website. It's dcsowhite.com.
Hold on, I'm looking this up.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
You know, there was the groundswell on socials that like it had been 1,000 days since there was a Black ongoing at DC. Somebody is like taking the liberty of like really doing a deep dive into like Black characters treatment at DC and just laying it out on this website. And it's quite an indictment.
Yo, what about little section under it?
Yeah.
So funny.
That is wild. The last time DC did an ongoing comic book in their mainline continuity for a Black character led title was I Am Batman number 18 in February 2023. That was the Jace Fox Batman.
Yeah.
Man, 5G was the way to go, I guess.
That's the only thing I can definitively say about Dan Didio's plans. They centered non-white characters to take over the future of their publishing line. Now, Scott Snyder is viewed as, and I think it's fair because he's put himself in this position, the architect of DC at the moment. He's been their spokesperson. There hasn't been anyone more vocal, more passionate, more loud than Scott Snyder. And so, on social media, who have people been calling to the court? None other than Scott himself. And to his credit, he did respond and get into the conversation with people on social media. There was a tweet from someone named Pomegranate at Pomegranate City on Twitter, X, whatever, who said, surely Scott Snyder's replies being entirely flooded with people asking for more diversity will result in something, right? Please? This was a huge conversation all over social media that Scott then got involved in. And he said, no, it's totally fair. And regardless of which universe, all of us can always and should always try to do better. Pomegranate responded and said, thanks for addressing this. I'm really loving what you're doing with Absolute Batman. Scott said, thanks so much. And thanks for also for your passion for the medium. Please always keep holding us and everyone in comics responsible for better practices. It only makes us better. So, okay. Let me get through this last quote, and then I want you guys to chime in. Someone named Vegeta Clark on Twitter said, Scott Snyder has seemingly confirmed that there are no Black books planned for DC Next Level at this time. This is a really scary thing for the publisher to be doing in 2026, the absolute gall of it. Scott Snyder went into this person's DMs. Scott Snyder, who will not respond to my DMs, slid into this person's DMs and said, hey man, just to note, I wasn't confirming that there are no more Black creators or characters in Next Level. The full lineup hasn't been announced. There are still pitches we're working on, some creators we're hoping to work with, all of it, so it's still fluid.
So he said there's still time, not that there's anything actually planned.
Exactly.
Soon TM.
Yep.
It's so difficult to even try to defend DC against the allegations. Like I want them to not be true, right? But in a world where like you just had Comics Pro and they're announcing like, ooh, a new Deadman book. And then it's like at the same time, Joe Illidge is like trying to engage the public to buy 100,000 issues of this milestone one shot to even come to the table with DC to ask for a static ongoing is insane, because there's no way Deadman is selling 100,000 issues. Like that twice as much to get half, like it seems front and center. Like it, you know, your perception is your reality. And so it's like, for as much as I like to think, you know, the brass at DC is well-meaning and this is just an oversight, like when you start laying out the evidence, it's like, dang, like really? Like, really? Because Batman Static sold. Static Shadows of Dakota sold. The problem with those series was not public interest. Like, it was a lack of planning from an editorial standpoint and a publishing standpoint. And even the way those books were rolled out, I'm starting to say too much, but even the way those books were rolled out, it's like, there's this like, will they, won't they? Will DC allow us to do this thing the way we would like to do it, or will they not? And there are series that get cut short, series that don't get greenlit. And meanwhile, look at the new Teen Titans. Like, who are those kids?
Also, the second Teen Titans book. There's Titans and Teen Titans now. It is weird because we read that Kids Are All Fight special, DCKO one, where Static just inexplicably appeared in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Dakota Incident, like, why show Static in that, give an editorial note for another comic, and not have plans for him?
There are, I can confirm, there are no plans for Static at the moment. The way he was rolled out in the Dakota Incident was in hopes that it'll get the fandom excited enough that maybe we get something, and that we get a place for Static to kind of stand where he's not overlapping so much with other characters. Because, I don't know, not to spoil the book, but Static is in a different position than he had been in the past.
Then why the fuck show him in Kids Are All Fight?
That's a great question, because it also says, oh, this will be continued in Titans 32. And then you read Titans 32 and that man is nowhere to be found.
Nope. Nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. This is, as BJ said earlier, you want to give all the grace in the world, but then you look at the reality of the situation and you kind of have to go, there's something happening here. There's something amiss. If the creators are the ones empowered to choose the books they want to work on, and they are not choosing Black characters, or really, like, not to keep it to just Black, I feel like a lot of other minority groups aren't being represented by DC's publishing line. Now we can't say creators aren't being allowed to tell the stories they want to tell. They are. We know it for a fact. And all of them are choosing the same thing. Even Jamal Campbell, who is Black, chose Zatanna because that's what he wants to do. And here's the fucking problem. I don't think Jamal Campbell is responsible for putting Black people on his shoulders. If that brother wants to tell Zatanna stories, awesome. But at some point, somebody behind the scenes has to take a look at their publishing line and go, wait, something is wrong.
Stephanie Williams has been begging to write Vixen for how long now?
Yeah.
And if you go and listen, if you go on my Patreon, her pitch for Vixen is in that interview. And it's amazing. It is an amazing idea. It's parts of that character that have never been explored. And like, we legit casted the whole book. Writer, artist, colorist, cover artists, like all of it. Like, all that's left is like, just write the check. Like, just do it. You know? Stephanie Williams has 150 comics to her name. None of them have been on an ongoing.
Not to mention, easy PR lob for them.
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
female creator, like not to be like, you know, DNC, you know, but like female creator, Black, and fan backing, you know, like.
And that's the part that gets me, because when you, I don't know, my memory is short, right? I've only been in comics 5 years, but I very vividly remember the push for Black people in the aftermath of George Floyd. That's when you started getting the Marvel's voices and the DC power, and oh, we got a Nubia book and we got this and that. And this just feels like such a hard shift. Like, none of it? We can't justify any of it. Like, Black Lightning got a miniseries, cool. We set up the Power Company and did the Power Company Recharged and promptly did nothing with that book.
Yep.
Right. Nothing with those plans. And then you have people like Stephanie just did the Wonder Woman filling arc, and people are like, yo, give her the book, do something. And the next thing she's writing is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, I don't think that's come out yet. But like, I don't know, bro. Like, and I mean, you know, for like, Marvel does better, but Marvel can't like keep up with what they want to publish and what they don't. So everything's a miniseries. It's difficult to get invested in anything. But yeah, the keeping the conversation focused on DC, it feels deliberate, and that's difficult to reckon with.
There's an elephant in the room that I have to be the one to bring up. The climate of our country has changed.
Yep.
Since the era that BJ was just talking about. And I have to wonder if there's something to the idea that, quote unquote, wokeness, right? Which I'm not using in a real way, but the idea that that is no longer in vogue, that there's been this red wave that has, you know, encompassed this country. And it's a little strange, but sort of predictable that DC, alongside with countless other companies, have pulled back on their representation efforts. DC's not explicitly telling us that, but we can look at what they want to do based on what they publish and don't.
Yeah. They're not riding the red wave, but they definitely see the tide coming in. You know, like
that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Like, even the
Wolf's dead.
It's Black History Month right now, right? The last several years, DC's put out a bunch of Black History Month variants. They do the DC Power book and all that. This year, they released 3 variant covers and the Milestone Dakota incident without as much as a press release saying that they were happening.
Yep.
Joe Illidge produced and financed the trailer for that book himself.
What?
Himself. And DC couldn't even, like, you know, do the honor of reposting it. Like,
it's one button press.
So, I don't know, man. The allegations have been made, and I would hate to be on DC's defense team, like, as a lawyer. Like, the hoops you got to jump through, the leaps in logic required to try to justify some of this stuff.
Dude, how can Metamorpho, and I know he was just in a movie, I know, but how does he get a book? How does, like, there are so many books that have been published that are just like Resurrection Man, and again, great book, not about that. The character, the strength of the character. You mean to tell me that those characters have more cachet than Static?
John Stewart,
Green Lantern? Like, what? Is that what we're really saying?
Cyborg, where they put years into upping his cred in the DC universe, only to just drop it when it no longer suits them.
They wouldn't pay N.K. Jemisin to continue telling stories with Joe Mullane, but they'll let Poison Ivy, because the sales weren't there for Far Sector allegedly, but they'll let Poison Ivy limp to the 40s. And it's not about the book.
Damn, you
I'm
hate
talking
Poison
about
Ivy,
money.
Sean. Jeez.
I'm only talking about money. That book is limping across the 40 line. We can't, like, there's no way they can throw a little bit behind the Vixen book and make it happen.
And it's not like Vixen is like a character that has a wide range of a publication history. We can say like, hey, it never sold. Like, she never really had the chance, really.
I mean, that's what this initiative, since the start, has been about. You're kind of putting out a Resurrection Man and Atom Projects, whatever, challengers, you know, like the opportunities there. And I hear you guys on, like, it can't be the case that out of coincidence, nobody has had a pitch that is ready or someone is engaged with telling for a minority character.
We already know of one of them, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I always struggle to think of it as deliberate as opposed to the machinations of the capitalistic system, like,
which is a socio issue. Like, it's a social issue. There's a reason. Like, there's a reason why Cyborg was on the team when Cyborg was there, and then off the team when they no longer needed him.
Right, but then you swap that reason for any other factor, because at the end of the day, it's whether or not there's an expectation of driving revenue, and they've been relegated. Most minority characters have been relegated to minis as opposed to the ongoings. So I think it's that we're also saying there's more of importance on the ongoing than the mini. There's more value there. I think we're also saying.
I think the argument for, capitalism, or the capitalism counter argument would have worked prior to the Next Level initiative.
Yeah.
Like, I might not have believed it in my heart of hearts, but I'm like, all right, fair. Maybe there's not enough people buying Black Lightning or whatever, right? But there's no way some of these books exist. And Static doesn't?
We're getting a Jonah Hex comic, guys.
Yeah.
I can't believe this. Like, you're so right. I don't understand it. You can't look at that Next Level roster and say, yes, these are absolutely the characters that we are positive are going to sell amazing. And we believe in this lineup as these are going to sell great. No, DC explicitly said we're letting creators do stories with who they want to do them with.
In fact, it's the opposite. You look at the characters they announced, they don't sell.
Traditionally, yeah.
Doom Patrol, I love Doom Patrol. It does not sell. Jonah Hex does not sell. They had to not name it Jonah Hex in New 52 so it would sell.
Yeah, Lobo, Batwoman, Deathstroke. Shout out to Tony Fleece.
Are these all all marketed as ongoings?
For the ones that are coming out, yes. So far, I don't think the ones that have solicitations, yes.
The Fury of Firestorm.
Yeah, like Legion. Legion is Williamson. It's not gonna, like, Firestorm doesn't sell well. Legion historically doesn't sell well.
This is a good comment. Scriptured says, I'm so confused. I can't tell if DC is just scared of the administration to put out representation in books, or if they genuinely needed DEI initiatives to force their hand to create those books. This is why initiatives that force the hand of businesses are required.
Yeah.
Because when you leave it in the hands of the people, this is what happens.
If you're going to be as generous as possible, you could say it's just implicit bias, and maybe not, in insidious bias.
Yeah.
But even then, that's why DEI exists. That's why it was a thing. It's to get different ideas in the room so that it cultivates that kind of culture.
Right. Like, because I mean, looking at these books, right? There's no doubt in my mind Greg Rucka wanted to write Come Back to Batwoman.
Yes.
Yeah.
No doubt that Tony Fleece wanted to write Deathstroke, or Scotty Young thought Lobo would be a cool book to do, right? Like, so it's not an indictment on the creative teams, but like at some point, somebody in editorial's got to be like, hey, we need to diversify this a little bit, though.
Yeah. Like it also, like, it being creator led shows a historical issue with comics, because the characters these people of a certain age are going to like weren't Black because they weren't publishing them back then.
Right.
But you need to recognize that as a publisher and
so
have.
Is the problem then, because like I grew up on Static Shock, several creators grew up on Static Shock. Is the problem here that the creative teams are 40 plus for Next Level?
Yes, but also I think it's a valid point that a lot of these creators who are chosen, not only are they of a certain age, but they're a certain demographic.
Yeah.
We don't have to lie about that. And so what they grew up on and what matters to them may well be different than what we grew up on and what matters to me. But I'll tell you this, if I were at DC and they said, Sean, you get to pick a book you want to write, I'm not picking a Black character just because I want to further this agenda. And that is also something that we have to wrangle. Jamal Campbell is not, he's not Black people. He is an individual man whose skin color is dark, who loves what he loves and wants to tell the stories he wants to tell. If it's not coming from the top down, a lot of motherfuckers really want to write Batman, okay? And I'm in that camp.
But then it becomes,
it is what it is.
Yeah, and without any kind of structural intervention, it will always be that way because it's just feeding off of itself.
Bendis chose Luke Cage. He chose to make Miles Morales. Jonathan Hickman chose Black Panther. He chose to make him an integral part of those new Avengers stories and of the Illuminati saga. Top writers.
Narratively, right? Like narratively chose that, because then my worry there is, let's say we get to a America, the comic situation, where she's super Latina, she has her gay parents or whatever, and like
Marcus has that fucking lib book.
dude, just the the inundation of we have the diverse book,
the pendulum swung too far.
Yeah, and I guess on that end, and this is maybe giving grace to DC on, at the very least, implicit bias that if the directive comes down and nobody really has the pitch, outside of the Vixen one here, but and let's say somebody has to kind of figure it out. I'm sure they can. There's going to be a capable writer, but it would be slightly counter or a different initiative than what DC is currently pushing.
Mr. DC Comics puts
here?
it well.
Himself.
I'm glad he made it. You put top talent on a milestone book, people will follow it. People follow talent.
Mr. DC, what's up? Wrangle your boys.
Who's top talent? Who you fan casting for milestone books?
I'd have to read Milestone to really know which is on me.
Because I think that the milestone issue is different in a way.
Yeah.
Because Milestone's a separate company. I mean, their characters, to my knowledge, are at the very least like co-owned somehow by DC. But until very recently, like this week, they weren't a part of the regular DC universe. So I can understand, like, from a publishing standpoint, it being like, well, where does this fit? Why do we put energy into this if we don't own it outright, and so on, right? But that doesn't explain why there's not, I don't know, Guardian and Bumblebee running around somewhere.
Sure.
Or Cyborg, or John Stewart, or, any number of Black DC-owned characters. Because I do think, like, to just completely misappropriate a Comics Explained quote, I do think there is a bit of like for us, by us energy for Milestone that we may not give. Like there's a grace that we would give. Like I don't mind necessarily like if it's like, okay, Philip Kennedy Johnson wants to write Cyborg, right? But if it's like, hey, Mark Waid wants to write Hardware,
yeah,
and it's just like, why when there's so much talent available elsewhere, you know?
And there's a reason why Mark Waid did not write the Coda Incident, even though it's a new history of the DC universe. They worked with him for that structuring aspect, right?
Right.
Yeah, but still, like let's say you do posit, and that's crazy that you went to Mark Waid and Hardware, BJ. That's exactly where I was saying. I was thinking Mark Waid and Dan Mora on the Hardware book to get it to have the kind of support, but then the support is behind non-black creators, right? And so therefore, do we value that? Let's say success. Let's say it's successful. Do we value that success less? I would argue we don't, because we're getting the character over in the fashion that we've agreed works for comics, right? And then if we pass it off to another writer, non-black again, right, of a lesser status, let's say, whoever that might be, and the run continues, we've made a successful book out of Hardware, but at the cost of the diversity of the creators included.
Yeah, because at that point it creates like a white savior thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's a PR conundrum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
but
in
comics, we need that.
The conundrum?
As fucked up as it sounds, in comics, we need that. I'll say it one more again. Bendis gave us Luke Cage and Miles as prominent characters. He didn't create Luke, but he definitely popularized them. Hickman and Hickman, and then of course you have to credit Ta-Nehisi Coates, but in terms of giving him that grander stage, Hickman. We need these top tier, top level creators to want to tell stories with those characters to raise their profile.
But then if Marvel DC aren't making any top tier black creators, then where does that go? Like, because then look at where Black Panther is right now. He just got canceled. Where's the Luke Cage book? Like, sure, those characters did have notoriety under those creators because those creators were good and well known at the time, but it doesn't. The longevity doesn't stick if there's no actual company backing on these characters.
Is this an indictment on the company? Is it an indictment on the fandom? I don't know. But there is a question as to whether or not black creators ever get to ascend to top creator status.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if the point is there's no top tier black creators, therefore we need to get top tier white creators to make these books. I don't know. That's tough. That's hard for me to swallow.
Because then it just becomes white creators the entire time because it's just a snake eating its own tail.
Well, again, it's the white savior thing, right? But then even if you do, I think it's a PR issue in either scenario, because let's say you get Ta-Nehisi Coates pulls up to Milestone, right? Like that becomes that echelon that you have to reach out to be able to push, let's say, Milestone.
But look at what Ta-Nehisi Coates became famous outside of comics. Comics didn't make him famous.
Right.
Comics is not making any black creators famous or pushing them.
Yeah. And I think that's another issue of like where comics gets its talent. Because even when I think of like some of the top black books as of, in recent history, we got John Ridley on, whatever John Ridley wrote. We got, first of all, I'm hard pressed to think of black creators. But, but it's people that came from outside of the industry.
Yep.
And then there's up and comers. And so that, sure, you can say like, okay, the up and comers haven't proven themselves enough to carry an ongoing book, but it's like something's got to find an audience. Like, how did Hickman become Hickman?
They gave him Bendis. They put Bendis behind him. It's a strategy that works. This is not rocket science. We've already seen it succeed. The problem is that to do it with creators who are minorities, look, it can take a lot of time. And no one has really emerged from the pack and been that person. I'm black, and I'm sitting here telling you there are no black creators right now, other than Stephanie Williams, whose name I absolutely check for. Like their name. I read Green Lantern Corps. Morgan Hampton is writing it. That's a good book. I'm reading it because it's Green Lantern right now. His name has not reached the point where I got to read his work. Victor Laval, same thing. Eve Ewing, same thing. The list goes on. They're not there yet.
They're not prolific either.
They're not. How do you get there? Put out that story that busts. I don't know. Put the story out that busts.
Morgan Hampton did take over GLC.
Yeah.
As of issue 10.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. To that point, Morgan, I mean, I don't know. I check for a lot of these creators just because of my connection to Milestone and the stuff that they've done. That means a lot to me. So Morgan Hampton, Nicholas Draper-Ivy, Edwin Gallman, every time that man does a cover, I'm like, give me that cover. A lot of times they're ratio variants, so that's a tough one. And that's the other thing. There's a lot of like black artists who are doing covers and not necessarily interiors. But like I would kill for like a Nicholas Draper-Ivy static series with art by Edwin Gallman. Like that last act of the Dakota incident, like, yeah, give me more of that.
It was saying something too, that book.
It said a lot.
Yeah.
Directly to DC.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing, just to bring us back to the initial tweets and kind of the DC So White, there's this but what about section, and we're discrediting the line of minis that have released: Black Lightning, Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern, War Journal, Steelwork, Cyborg, Nubia. It goes on and on, especially even just in the past 5 years. And so the issue seems to be stemming from there is no ongoing title, and that is valued more for DC, for creators, for fans, than the mini. But when we overlay that with sales, right? I suspect a lot of these next level books are just going to be, a few issues. I don't expect them to be ongoings, even if they've been announced. I don't see how. I'll be proven wrong when we get a few issues in and they keep going. But if they end up being these minis, are we not comparing them on equal footing? And so therefore, those books, The Challenges of the Unknown, The Atom Project, Resurrection Man, they were just minis. They don't have the same ongoing potential. But the fact that we are missing at least one character on an ongoing, I get. But to say that there's a more deliberate avoidance for publication of black characters or minority characters for that matter, I find that a little harder to swallow.
I think the idea of like the ongoing being more important, that's what you're asking, right? Like, why are we putting more credence over that over a mini?
Yeah.
It's because that's the way we talk about comics. We talk about comic runs. That's how fans talk about comics. When you talk about Daredevil, you're not talking about Cold Day in Hell. You're talking about a run on the character. Bendis's run, Brubaker's run. Because it is long form, it leads to more investment in the character. It leads to building that fandom in what that character is. And it's traditionally what comics has always been. This whole miniseries shit is a small chunk of the time frame of comic books. The way comics work right now. It's not how it worked even 10 years ago. So I think that's why ongoings are more important.
I do think it's fair to make the assertion that these publishers aren't investing in characters across the board. Right. Like I to Marco's point, I don't think most of these next level things are going to be ongoing either. But for me, the counter is like, we couldn't get a miniseries either.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't get a next level static and we can like see, does that pop enough to extend to 12? At least. Like Absolute Martian Manhunter got extended.
Yep.
That is the weirdest book I have ever read. It's good. But it's like, what basis was there to be like, let's see this, let's just try this out, other than we want to try it out?
I don't know why John isn't black in that book, by the way.
Just thinking that too.
Like Martian Manhunter is definitely black. Black people claim Martians. We claim Martians.
You had the one chance to make the coded black character actually black.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's a lot of energy for this topic. A lot of great comments coming in. This is a big deal, and I really want to see DC take this more seriously. Marvel needs to too. The whole industry has something to reckon with, but we do as well. There are a lot of people who don't go to the store and don't buy and don't pre-order and don't support these books, and then those same individuals show up and complain about what we don't have. You cannot have it both ways. But I will make this final point, on my side anyways. I refuse to buy anything off the strength. That's just where I'm at. I refuse to buy anything off the strength. I will not buy books just because the creator is any color. I will buy books that are good. So if you put a great book in front of me, it will be in my stack. That's a guarantee. I will not buy Black Panther, Victor Laval books that throw my man in some dumbass situation that is a far cry from what I want to see him doing. Put these characters in positions to succeed with great creative teams behind them, and I will check for them every single time. And by the way, I guarantee you a lot of other people will too. You guys want to leave it there? You want to play the GOAT game?
I'm shutting up and listening.
That's a good move.
Yeah, I don't, again, I feel my blood pressure rising in this topic. I'm quite incensed. You know, not to the level of cursing Sean, but
you can be. It's fine. Yeah,
it's a topic I'm passionate about, right? And it's I think the part that I'm reckoning or dealing with is like I don't have any easy answers for it, right? Like, to your point, like there have been points made in all directions on this topic. I just know like it sucks as a fan of some of these characters for it to just be like it doesn't feel like they're getting any consideration. Like, let's be real. Like, you don't want to see this in a comic book?
I do.
Like,
he had a yellow jacket like that.
He had a yellow jacket in the comics. I got this custom jacket from eBay because the toy didn't come with it.
Oh,
but yeah, like it's like there's so. I feel like the ground is just so fertile for one of these series to stick. When you go read the Dakota Incident, like there's no way you read the Dakota Incident and you're not like, okay, I got to see what happens next to some of these characters.
Yeah.
So,
and the problem is when you look at the problem, it becomes a chain, and then it becomes outside of comics, and it just becomes bigger and bigger, and then it becomes daunting.
Yeah.
Then you talk about buying power. Who has buying power? If it's all based on sales, these comics about what characters you put out, it becomes a huge issue that is outside of the realm of comics at that point. And then it makes you like, well, how the fuck am I going to fix comics if I have to fix it on a fucking political side?
I would absolutely read a Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok, Mr. Terrific book.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, bro.
That would be good.
Yes. Yes, bring it on. Where is our Mr. Terrific ongoing? Get out of here with any argument that Mr. Terrific could not sell at least as well as Poison Ivy. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it. Put that to the test. Prove me wrong. What's the harm? What's the worst thing, DC, that could happen if you take top tier creators and you give them Mr. Terrific and commit and say, we're doing this for 1 year, 12 issues guaranteed, and we'll see where it goes. What's the risk? Absolute Batman, the Absolute Universe sold what was it? 8 million units?
A lot.
8 million units? You can't take some of that money and throw that behind a Mr. Terrific book for 1 year? I defy you. I defy you to prove to me that cannot work.
1 year. No, it was year 1.
No, yeah. If you say 1 year, then that's a max series. It's not ongoing.
Right. Oh yeah,
Oh,
agreed. Back it. Put your money where your
Or
mouth
or even
is.
just fucking take a gamble on an unknown creative team.
don't do that. You're sacrificing the comic.
Oh, I'm not saying Mr. Terrific. I'm just saying in general. Like sometimes you just
mean,
got to let things breathe, and they can
Mark
catch
Waid,
fire.
Dan Mora.
I thought Mr. Terrific year 1 was good enough that
Yeah.
like
It was real good.
I would check for the same creative team
Yep.
on an ongoing.
Yep.
And to my knowledge, this is Al Letson's first comic book.
Insane for a first comic. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Right.
real good.
I'm gonna read this last comment and then we're gonna have to move on because it's getting long in the tooth here. Scripture says, "It just makes me feel like my dollar doesn't have value. I try to buy as many books as I can with people of color, but it hasn't resulted in much yet. My voice overall isn't big enough yet. Still love comics, but it sucks." And what he just said is how almost every single minority person feels reading comics. That's all there is
Absolutely.
to it.
I feel it. I also feel it as a creator, as someone who talks about Black comics all the time, right? Like it's February. I joke that it's like the hardest month for me, but it is because it feels like outside of February, nobody's checking for these stories, nobody's checking for these creators. And I feel a double duty to like make sure that I'm throwing a spotlight on people that are working hard and deserve it, you know, whenever people are looking for it. And yeah, I spend my money, I buy everything I talk about for the most part. Like, ain't too much that I've recommended to anybody that I didn't have a copy of. And so it's like I bought it once, I sold it a few times, and none of it matters.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you so much to the patrons that we didn't get to a little earlier. Young Dende, Faye Fighter Dawoodi, Amin the Almighty Perez, Houston, the Century Kid Murphy, Cosmic November, Carter the Owl Shogunate. What up, bro? Steve Swarm Canaris, my guy, Scripture the Wardens of the Word, who you just heard from, Jack of Some Trades Cloutier, Chris the Cure, Coleman, Emperor, MD Johnny, Mad Max Pliskin, Lieutenant Earl Wagnus, Death Dealer, Patrick Zay, Ray Lytle, and getting an origin here today is none other than Jack Grimmy.
Okay.
I used to joke with my friends about how I wished I could teleport. I wasn't the fastest kid, but I couldn't keep up in the races or the games of tag. If I could teleport, speed wouldn't matter. I could just think about being somewhere, bamf, I would be. It's embarrassing now, but I used to dream about it. What it would be like to be anywhere, anytime. I know it's hell. I know now. It's hell. I never considered where you actually go. What happens to you when you teleport? In my child's mind, I figured you just disappeared and reappeared like magic. Voila. Turns out, it's not like that at all. There's a place called Oblivion, where beings who've fallen through the cosmic cracks make their home. It's worse than you can imagine. Dante couldn't picture an inferno like what rages there. It's a black and white hellscape. Loud screeches emanate from the throats of creatures that human eyes aren't meant to see. It's a hole in reality. Time moves so fast there that by the time you find your way out, only moments have passed on Earth. And that's how teleportation works. Trippy. You're probably wondering how I know all this. I've been to and through Oblivion. The Grimstone is a family heirloom, hence the name, not very subtle, that has allowed my family to move through the world seemingly instantaneously. It's given us more power than any family should have. It's mine now. And as much as I would love to throw the infernal rock into the river and watch it float out of my life, it's bonded to me. It will always find its way back to me. It may take a week, a month, but eventually that rock will be back in my possession. There is also an awful, secret part of me that hungers to be there. It's my blood. It's my inheritance. I only go when I have to, but if I went when I wanted to, when I felt the call, I may never leave. This world is in jeopardy, and I can't stand around and do nothing. Or worse yet, use my resources to make things worse. I won't use the Grimstone for power and control like my family always has. I'm going back into oblivion tonight. When I come out on the other side, my plan is to be a part of the solution in this world and not part of the problem. I'm going to change the destiny of my family and use the Grimstone for good. Hopefully, I survive the experience. Thank you, Jack Grimmy, for joining the Palsverse. I hope you enjoy your stay, and I also hope you survive the experience, my brother. Anybody who wants a superhero or villain origin on this show, become a patron. Join the Palsverse channel or greater is the only way to get an origin here.
Is the wiki being updated still?
Not as much as it once was.
Okay.
Yo, I thought that was a joke in the chat. Comics Explained just dropped the Dakota incident video.
No, he did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like an hour ago?
Just got it in under the wire for the month.
Insane. Anyway, how long is this GOAT game? Do we have time?
Yeah,
it's quick.
I think so.
It's quick.
No, Integrate. I've never played D&D or Pathfinder. Yeah, so we'll play a quick round of the GOAT game. The four of us will be in it. We are going to have to make the argument as to why the character that comes up is the greatest hero or villain of all time.
We're doing greatest this week?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see who it's going to be.
Electrics with the 100 SEK says, great origin as always, Sean, and a great show. Love hearing such level-headedness without losing the passion. Still feels great to be a part of this community. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Electrics. Great member of the community. All right. Who's it going to be? Sorry, it just says guess for you, BJ. I apologize.
It's all good.
But BJ, you and I are off the hook because it's Sean and Marco.
Oh, damn it.
So we get
I'm like, I'm every week with this damn game.
Same, I feel like it's us too.
It might be cooked. Who knows? All right. Ooh, okay. Don't look there. All right. Who my character is going to be? So we just get to watch them waffle, BJ. It's actually pretty fun being on the other end. Oh, it's an easy one. It's Green Goblin.
Nice. I love that.
Isn't he Spider-Man right now?
It's true. He's the yin
Spider-Man's
and yang.
GOAT. All right, y'all. My bad. I'm gonna have to dip out early. I hear a kid crying. So
No worries.
Yeah, do you?
All right, man. See y'all.
Take care, BJ.
BJ, thank you so much.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
See you, dude.
Peace.
That's BJ Kicks of Comics Are Dope. If you like this channel, you will love his. He is a big part of what we do here. Love that brother. I'm so grateful that he was here with us. We joke. We have a relationship where we play a lot. So none of the back and forth you saw was real. We just, we have a good time.
It's an enemies to lovers situation.
Yeah. Let's have a great time finishing things up by playing the GOAT game. Let's do it. I'm going to go first, if that's okay with you, Marco.
You let Marco look him up.
I know this guy. I know this guy.
It's spelled OSBORN. That's how you spell it.
Is it not Gold Goblin? Sorry.
You could talk about him if you want.
All right, here we go. Green Goblin is the only villain in comics that I have dreamed about. Green Goblin has chased me in my nightmares since I was a teenager. The mask, the pumpkin bombs, the laugh, everything about Green Goblin is awful to me from a visual standpoint. Truly horrifying. And one of the greatest antagonists of all time, because he actually accomplished one of his goals. He killed Spider-Man's love interest. Gwen Stacy died at the hands of Green Goblin. The majority of antagonists cannot say such a thing. Green Goblin has been a hero. He's been a villain, always a menace to Peter Parker, and absolutely the greatest villain of all time.
Are you ready?
Do it up.
I think my opponent here, Sean, has gone too light. To say antagonist, I would say the word archenemy, nemesis, evil incarnate. That is who the Green Goblin is, and that is why he's the greatest villain of all time. The greatest of all time. The fact that he is the opposite and opposing force that, and as Sean mentioned, destroyed the love between Peter, Gwen, and is also the father of his best friend. I think from a narrative perspective for a villain, also plays a great factor into the drama and dynamics.
Okay, so I would just like to point out that my enemy here, Marco, said my name more than the subject's name. That's all I wanted to say.
I'll put up a
Thank you.
poll. I don't trust
Thank you
Marco
very
to make it not
much.
binary at all.
They knew what I was talking about.
Chat, who won? Who won? Make sure you guys vote in this poll. We've still got over 120 people here with us right now. I love that. That's crazy. Some of you will remember the days. Only a few of you will remember the days when we had like 10 people
5
here.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. You're a real one. If you've been here since then, or today's your first day. But if today's your first day, you better smash that fucking subscribe button. Because we need all the subscribers we can get on the road to 7K and then 10K. Because I set my sights high.
Yo, who hasn't voted? Because this is trending the wrong direction, guys.
I don't know, bro.
I'm nationalizing the vote. That's what I'm gonna do.
Nationalizing?
Yeah, I'm gonna require all YouTube people to give me ID in order to vote in our polls.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you need that.
Yeah, and I'm
Chris,
probably gonna go for a 4th term.
I don't appreciate the betrayal, bro, Chris. Like, we're brothers in skin color brothers, and you're gonna betray me like that? Talking about Marco cooked? What's wrong with you?
Pat saying no one cooked? Bro,
What?
That's crazy.
Because Pat knows I wasn't there.
Pat, that's how you do me on a Saturday morning?
Damn,
afternoon?
Bro. That nobody vote went from 5% to 9% because of Pat, I bet.
Damn.
That's insane.
He's on all his burners.
That's insane, Pat. I thought you were a real one.
Yes, he definitely recorded. This may have been Marco's strongest one so far. A low bar, but still.
I like how Marco's first 30 seconds are just semantics and words and what words he chooses to use instead of
elevates who he is.
That was some pitch, bro. I gotta say. Okay, let's end the poll now. And by the way, you may have noticed I put up a survey, a feedback form. Please do respond to that if you can. It'll take you like 5 minutes or less. I'm gonna share a link to it in the comment section so that you guys can help us out with that. It would really mean a lot. And what's that?
Hero says, I'm not gonna lie, both of y'all were lukewarm. Neither mentioned having a kid with Gwen.
Oh. Well, do you guys really want to hear about that? Because I love talking about that.
Nope. We did not get that far in the JMS book club. Sorry.
That was GMS?
Yeah. It's since passed, dude.
52% of you said I won. 33% of you were wrong. And 15% of you said nobody.
That's crazy. 120 of you guys and 27 votes. All the active participants left, Sean. That's what it was. That's why it's all the lurkers now. You know, that's why they voted you.
And all of them think I'm better than you.
Whoa.
Only 52%.
Only. That's a majority, bro. We win on majority.
Oh, hold on. I'm getting a report. The Electoral College actually goes to Marco because of where they voted from.
I won definitively.
All right, Jay, I'll read your damn super chat. I'll read it. Jay Sage with the 199 said Al Ewing, for example, loves writing black women. That's beautiful.
Does he? Let's see.
I don't know. I mean, he wrote Monica Rambeau a lot.
He did. He did.
There you go, Jay. I hope you enjoyed our conversation about your super chat. Love Al Ewing, by the way.
Love him.
Jay, I'm gonna need you to see the work that you did to get to that conclusion. So I expect that in Discord.
It has been an honor and a pleasure today. You guys have been incredible. What an audience. Couldn't ask for more. Couldn't ask for a better group to hang out with us for the morning. Thank you. This Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, set your watch to it. You'll be able to check out Pal's previews. Then, of course, Thursday, Pal's polls at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then, before you know it, we're right back here on the main show. And we're going to start our deep dive into DC Rebirth. Rebirth month will begin. I want to see a massive turnout for that deep dive. I want to see a massive turnout.
Pull up.
Yeah, pull up, show out. What I can't see this super chat that Jay Sage is talking about. Can someone? Because my YouTube.
I'm not seeing it either.
Was it not
Wasn't it the one that you
the one
sent?
you read?
I guess not. The one about a 2-man. I don't see it.
I'm scrolling up. Did it get blocked? What did you say, Jay Sage?
I see it. Sean Freaky, truly my rival. We gotta hit a 2-man.
Oh no, oh no, hold on. What?
Pause.
But what is that?
Hitting a 2-man? That means double teaming.
What's wrong with that? All right, guys, listen. Thank you so much. We will see you next week. Until then, peace, pals.